Yeah, we back. All right. So they got your boy for that, right? We're watching some copyrighted shit. It's all good. That stream is gone, but the channel's still clean. We good. Just had to take a little quiz, and we good as far as that goes. I want to remind everybody: go ahead, like the stream, share the stream, support the stream through Cash App, Super Chat. Super thanks if you're catching the replay. You know what I'm saying? We're actually live at the home of the official YT Purge as well as the boiler room. So let me get this shit off my motherfucking shit. Hold up. Yeah, let me definitely make sure I do that. All right. So we're gonna actually get into the meat and potatoes of this show, right? And we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of what this show was supposed to be right here. But yeah, it's a warning, so it's all good. These motherfuckers is funny. Um, what's up, Aries Queen? Sat passe. Salute, salute, salute. Might need a share, when it comes to this. So y'all go ahead, share your boy out. I would definitely appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Now, that and that's a damn shame too, because they got me at the end of the motherfucking review. You know what I'm saying too? They got me at the end of the review, so I had to see that. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? They just clipped it, so y'all can't really check out too much of it. I might have it on StreamYard, I might kind of clip that up, edit it a little bit, but we'll make sure we don't review any more content from that channel. We'll make sure that we don't do that. So we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this stream right here because the investment gone wrong. Okay. Let me go ahead and drop the link. I know Lord ADS was up here with me, before when we were talking about that. Now, this entire, Ashlee Jenae situation, a lot of folks don't even know what narrative they're going to try to spin, when it comes to that. A lot of like either law, smaller YouTubers, of people have tried to break down, this content, talk about it, and it looks like people really don't know, what position to take, when it comes to this shit, right? They don't even have a clue. They don't know if this is a black man versus black woman issue. They don't know if this is a way to attack divestors. They don't know if this is a way to blame people for their fucking reaction. People just don't know what the fuck to do, when it comes to this shit. And I think it's kind of funny, to be honest with you. And the situation is not funny because that woman did lose her life. So my condolences to her family, and of course her loved ones and all of that. Because regardless, no matter what it was she was saying online and all that other shit, you know, nobody deserved to lose their life. When it comes to that, but we are going to break down some of the things that she said, online, so y'all can see what that is right there. And I gotta pull some other shit up. Because that's what they say. They're like, okay, she was a social media influencer, and some other things, right? But we're actually going to talk about a few of the things that she talked about, you know, on here. So let me find a few of these damn, clips and shit like that, because nobody really knows what the hell happened. A lot of people have had, just different. Matter of fact, let's just bring up the clip.
So many people have questions. Her family has questions. A dream trip turned into a family's nightmare. Influencer Ashlee Jenae Robinson was on a vacation in Zanzibar. That's off the coast of Tanzania. She had just celebrated her birthday. Social media posts show she got engaged on this trip. But this morning, her death is under investigation and her family wants answers.
I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar that said the investigation is still ongoing. That they have not determined the cause of death yet at all, and the investigation is still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. That's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers.
That is part of an interview 31-year-old Ashlee's parents and their spouses did with TMZ's Charlie Neff. In a statement, her family says she was on what should have been one of the happiest trips of her life. They say they were told she was found unconscious in her luxury villa and rushed to a local hospital. BBC Africa reports earlier police had said Ashlee had attempted to take her own life. It appears her parents also got that message, but they don't buy it. At this point, authorities say the investigation is ongoing, and her family says one of their biggest frustrations surrounds when they were notified something was wrong.
Initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashlee was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes. 11 hours later.
Now, Ashlee was later pronounced dead at the hospital, and her family says they have had no communication with her fiance since. Also, to note, BBC Africa is reporting authorities said Ashlee and her fiance were reported to have had a disagreement, and the hotel management separated them into different rooms. The hotel wouldn't confirm that part of what authorities had said, but authorities also say they are holding her fiance's passport during the investigation.
Did investigators say if she had any signs of mental health issues or disorders or anything like that?
Yeah, no, of course, it's a big question, right? Especially given the initial statement that was reported from authorities, but nothing from authorities on that note. Her family, though, says they knew nothing of the sort.
Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Look, man, again, my condolences to the family and shit like that. But that's a good question right there. Did this woman have any type of history of mental health issues? Did this dude have history of mental health issues? Because as far as I'm concerned, just based on what I'm seeing here, I think they both crazy. I think they both fucking crazy, man. Neither one of them were very, very right in the fucking head. You know I was on Rogue C's panel last night for a brief moment, and somebody brought up that that the dude must have been love bombing her and some other shit, and he, you know what I'm saying, and women will fall for that and everything. Like, the fuck out of here. If a motherfucker a psycho, right? If a motherfucker a psycho, and he's sending you all types of goddamn messages and buying you shit and shit like that, like, that does not negate the fact that they're a goddamn psycho. So that's another thing. Like, I wanted to kind of get the real definition to love bomb, because they're like, love bombing is when those things are used to disarm somebody. But so love bombing is not the act itself of showing affection and love and attention and all of that other shit. It's not the act itself, it's the intention. I'm trying to figure this shit out. Because people are like, is that a red flag? But at the same time, you got somebody that doesn't do shit for you, doesn't pay attention to you, doesn't check up on you, you know what I'm saying, doesn't see how you doing, doesn't send you them extra text messages and shit like that. Is that a good thing? Like, come on, man. Make it make fucking sense. You know? So that's what I mean. Is it the act or is it the intent? People need to think about that shit.
Of any kind of struggles with mental health issues.
And so the fiance is still in custody or being
in Africa.
Okay.
Well, in Africa, they were holding his passport. No official word from authorities if he is in custody.
Just right.
And the hotel separated the two of them.
That's what the authorities say. The hotel wouldn't talk about that. And I wonder, you know, it's different. You can get an official notice from authorities, from police, but maybe the hotel.
Okay, it's a tactic. But like I said, is it the act itself or is it the intent that makes it love bombing? Because I get it. Y'all explained it to me. Y'all said love bombing is bad. It's bad. And it should be a red flag. But I'm just trying to figure out exactly what that is. Is it the act itself, Tay, or is it just the intent or the set of acts? Because if it's the acts themselves, just say straight up, dudes that buy you shit, you know what I'm saying, send you messages and check up on you and tell you how much they care and all of that other shit. Y'all don't want motherfuckers to do that shit no more. You don't want a motherfucker to buy you shit. You don't want a motherfucker to check up on you, say he cares, none of that shit. You don't want a motherfucker to give you no goddamn attention. That's bad. Or you can just say, hey, you don't want crazy, narcissistic, nut job psychopaths to do it with that have the intent to disarm you so that way they could take it away later. That's what I'm saying. This is where I'm vague. Not for real. Because I won't even disagree with you. That is a tactic that some people will use to try to take away from the fact that, hey, they're a fucking nut job. And if you just pay attention to the shit that they're doing for you, you might not notice that they're a crazy motherfucker. So yeah, those things can disarm you. But I mean, if you just want a motherfucker to not do those things, just say that. And motherfucker just, hey, motherfucker won't call you, check up on you, send, you know what I'm saying, take you on trips and buy you shit and all that other shit. Fuck that. That's love bombing. I don't, hey, don't want to do that.
As different privacy rules, and they wouldn't say.
Yeah, a bizarre story.
It's a bizarre story.
Yeah.
Just turned 31, just got engaged. You know, there's no perfect face to mental health issues. And so we don't want to, be up here speaking as if there is. It's just, you can understand her family has questions.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's sad.
Ooh, all right, we'll have to see
It is
what
sad.
happens there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooke.
With local ties who was found dead while on vacation in Africa. Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Jenae online, was on a birthday trip with her fiance at the time.
Well, tonight we're learning her fiance is still being questioned as Robinson's family desperately tries to find out what happened to her.
It is Tuesday night. Stories off. Felicia Vitarelli is joining us, and the big story in Action News is the mysterious death of a South Jersey woman, now drawing international attention.
Now, tonight, we know new details from authorities about her death. She was on a vacation of a lifetime in Zanzibar, Tanzania, which is on the east coast of Africa. Action News reporter John Paul live in the Satellite Center now with the very latest, and the family desperate for answers, John.
Yeah, Alicia, Rick, they are desperate for those answers. Now, we did get some new information. We know that authorities in Tanzania have confiscated her fiance's passport. This is while he's still being questioned. But according to the BBC, local authorities there in Tanzania did not originally suspect him of any wrongdoing, while the family continues to be desperate to know what happened.
I don't think no one else is going to fight for it the way we will.
That fight continues tonight as the parents of Ashlee Robinson press for answers as to what happened to their daughter who was found dead in Tanzania. Today, the two spent the day in Washington, D.C., trying to get information from the embassy. They spoke with Action News yesterday, saying they were getting nowhere.
No one wants to talk to us. Like, just let us know what happened. That's the only thing we want to know is the truth.
There is nothing that's confirmed. We don't have anything from the police or law enforcement that states that there is a conclusion to anything. It's under investigation, and it's under investigation because it doesn't look right.
Robinson, a 31-year-old social media influencer who went by Ashlee Jenae online, was found unresponsive in her hotel room in Zanzibar and declared dead April 9th. Police say they're investigating it as a possible suicide. But investigators in Tanzania said she had been in a fight with her fiancé, Joe McCann, hours earlier, and the two were separated by hotel staff. He was moved to a different villa, which was about a 10-minute walk away from where she was staying. Her parents are now pushing for security footage from the Zuri Zanzibar hotel.
If there's security footage, that will tell the story. So we just want to know if there's any security footage, if there's anything just to saying that what he's saying is true.
The hotel hasn't responded to them, but did provide a brief statement to ABC News saying they were deeply saddened by a tragic incident involving one of our guests. Tonight, the family's preparing to fly to Zanzibar to try to get answers in person.
I just know that I have to keep going forward. I'm never going to give up. And I just want the truth out there.
We did reach out to McCann. He has not responded. As for the autopsy, that is expected to be released at some point tomorrow. The parents tell me that they are still trying to make the trip out to Africa. They expect to do that sometime this week, but they are waiting on that autopsy. Live tonight in the Satellite Center, John Paul, Channel 6.
So let me ask y'all this, right? Maybe y'all know. Are we still waiting on the autopsy? And that's what I believe it was. All right. Now I could be wrong when it comes to this shit, right? But it looks like she had a fucking trick that realized that got out to Tanzania, wanted to make this woman his wife. Like the trick ass nigga he is. He wanted to marry, he was a customer that tried to marry this woman or wanted to. And then he found out he wasn't the only trick. That's what it looked like to me. I'm just saying. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm looking for some more visual aids and shit like that, right? Now, we got to get to, I just found a video and we're going to watch this shit together, right? Because just like I said, I believe this is divestment gone wrong, right? But if y'all remember, this woman ducked me a few years back. I tried to get a little debate on this woman about colorism and shit. This Chrissy. This is her video. We're going to watch this shit together. The colorism queen. You know? Right here. Everything is about colorism. I'm pretty sure she'll work that narrative in here into this video somewhere too. But we're going to see, right?
So I want to do a follow-up to my last video about Ashlee Jenae and talk about some of the responses and also discuss the recent femicide stories that nobody is talking about because the unalivings were committed by Black men. And under my last community post about one of the most recent victims of femicide, somebody accused me of deflecting or redirecting the conversation from white men to Black men to absolve white men of accountability. And I feel like the people who accuse me of that actually don't like Black men being held accountable for femicide, because if y'all claim.
And this was the conversation. Big J, you were, yeah, Chris, she didn't duck in the motherfucking debate, man. I even offered that chick a nickel to fucking to debate her when it came to colors. She didn't want to do it because she ain't have a leg to fucking stand on. She even ducked Jessica X when it came to a fucking debate. And I thought that shit would have been, I'm like, what's the problem? Neither one of y'all motherfucking came up. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have been a fucking problem. You know, wouldn't have been a problem. You should have been able to debate a motherfucker. But nah, she don't do that. So cool. But again, this is the conversation that we had on your panel, Big J. This situation right here don't have a goddamn thing to do with Black men. Like nothing whatsoever. Nothing at all. And folks don't want to just admit that. You know, they got a fucking thing to do with a nigga, man. Let me see here. She got there, Aries Queen. They said he was having freak offs with other women in Tanzania. No problem. I mean, look, I'm going to check that shit out, in a moment. But at the same time, what the hell do you expect? This chick was likely fucking a part of one of his goddamn freak offs or whatever.
To care about femicide and Black women's safety and Black women being unalived by their partners, then it shouldn't be an issue with anybody shining light on other recent femicide stories that aren't being shared because the women involved weren't influencers or public figures who were dealing with white men. All Black femicide victims deserve to have their story told because they are all important. And if those of you reporting on Ashlee and making that story go viral, if you truly believe that all men can be dangerous and that protecting Black women matters, then that standard has to be applied consistently, not just to men who don't look like you or men that you sleep with every night. I have more respect for anybody saying this is what men do, so vet them all regardless of race and find one worth being with, or be single if you don't want to risk it. That's genuine concern, especially from people.
I mean, I would actually agree with Chrissy on that note right there, but I get the most pushback when it comes to that. They're like, why the hell should I have to be single? Like, if your only alternative is to deal with a fucking psychopath, and let's just keep it real. What a lot of people don't want to admit when it comes to this shit, this is what really pisses people off. This is what I was even saying on Rogue C's panel last night. What people don't want to admit is they end up with fucked up people because they're a fucked up person. Now, does that mean somebody deserves to pass on or, be prematurely deleted or some shit like that? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. Again, my condolences to the family. Nobody deserves to be unalive prematurely just because they made a bad relationship decision or anything like that. But, I mean, I'm a firm believer in water finds its own level. It just is what it is. So I know a lot of people be looking at it like, oh, well, how'd you end up with that crazy nut job, crazy psycho motherfucker? Chances are it's because you a crazy psycho nut job motherfucker you goddamn self. Yeah, but people don't want to fucking admit that shit, Aries Queen. People don't want to admit that shit. Does that give somebody the right to fucking delete you? Absolutely not. But water's probably going to find its own level. You're either a psycho nut job crazy motherfucker or you're just extremely selfish and shallow to the point where all you're concerned with is the gifts that somebody fucking gives you and their fucking skin tone, and you see them as a status symbol. So you're just able to look past or ignore the red flags in their personality. Like the fact that they fucking do random ass goddamn freak offs and shit like that with other motherfuckers. The fact that they fucking snap over basic shit. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the hand towels in the bathroom don't match or some shit like that. And then they lose their shit. You know what I'm saying? Start punching holes in the wall or some crazy shit like that. Throw temper tantrums for no fucking reason. All types of fuck shit. People will look past that. I was listening to one of the damn reviews that they said this woman was living this was a dream life because she had Chanel. Like somebody bought her Chanel and she got to travel. Like if that shit is worth risking your life, that means your life really isn't worth much to you anyway. So if your life isn't worth that, if your life is worth a handbag to you, like you'll risk it for a fucking handbag, or you'll just totally ignore red flags and some crazy shit for a handbag. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a moment, Tay. For a handbag and a status symbol of a person, like you'll literally risk your fucking your own physical safety. Because keep in mind, every time you lay up with somebody, every time you go to bed next to somebody and you expect to wake up next to that same fucking person, you putting your life in their hands. Like whenever you're going to shut your eyes and go to sleep next to somebody, yes, you're putting your life in that person's fucking hands. So why the fuck would you fucking like shut your eyes and go to sleep next to somebody you don't fucking trust? Would you fall asleep on the fucking subway in New York City in the middle of the night? No, because you know crazy motherfuckers might do something to you while the fuck you sleep. You know? So if a handbag and a lifestyle is worth that shit, you obviously don't value your life that much. And if you're not going to value your life that much, why would somebody else? That's what a sociopath, psychopath, serial deleter is going to fucking prey on. They don't value life. So they're going to try to prey on somebody that really doesn't value their life that much either. They'll take unnecessary fucking risks for shiny things and status symbols just so they can get a picture for the gram. And boom, next thing you know, you're a victim. You know? So that's what I was saying. Like when people want to bring up love and all of that other shit and standards, before you can love somebody or you can have standards and put that shit on somebody else, you got to be able to love yourself and have some standards on yourself. Like first and foremost, that's really where that shit starts. But that shit just be bugging me out. You got everybody in these spaces, pointing the fingers at every fucking body else when where are the standards for yourself? And I don't give a fuck, how much money you spend on your wig or how well your BBL job was fucking done. And you niggas, I don't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying, how much you got in your goddamn bank account. Or any of that shit. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. What standards do you have on yourself and what the fuck, like for real? What situations are you willing to put yourself in? Because if you ain't got no standards for yourself, if you don't have any boundaries of your own, you can't be mad when somebody crosses that line and that lack of boundaries. Guys getting drugged and robbed in Colombia because of that. It all happens even though people know what's up. Bro, motherfuckers are getting drugged and robbed in motherfucking Miami. Okay? They busted an entire organized crime ring over that shit. In fucking Miami, yes. They was drugging motherfuckers at the goddamn bar, using chicks to do that shit. And then, next thing you know, man, they get blamed for about 60, 70, 80,000 in a night. And they just wake up fucked up the next day. That shit going on right here in fucking Miami. And that happens when you'll just let somebody you don't know feed you fucking drinks. Or you'll go to sleep next to somebody and wake up next to somebody that you don't fucking know, man. So even when these people get all shallow with this shit, like, oh, well, do you think this person looks better than this person? Like, bro, like, you niggas, like, bro, are y'all grown ass people? Because that's what somebody even tried to tell me about this Ashlee Jenae chick. They was like, yo, well, she's a good looking woman. She could have got a man. Yeah, bro, that probably got her past first base or whatever. But it needs self-respecting dude that has something going for herself, but also respects himself. If she's a shallow motherfucker that only cares about the gifts that she can be showered with and shit like that, and she's just that goofy, God rest her soul. But if she's just a goofy ass, dumb ass chick, them good looks ain't really gonna get you very far. They might get you in the door, but they damn sure ain't gonna get you a motherfucking a spot in the bed next to a motherfucker. You know, that shit will get you a spot in the bed next to fucking nut job Brad. You know? Next to Leatherface over here. You know? Real shit. But hey, what do I know? Thanks, Brenda. Appreciate you.
People who consistently say that over and over again, regardless of the femicide story and regardless of the race of man who did the unaliving, that's what genuine concern looks like. It doesn't look like absolving one group of men for their wrongdoings. But I noticed that when it comes to intra-racial femicide, it's framed as a broader issue of quote unquote male.
Job, Brad, Jerome, Chan, you know what I'm saying? Hector, Juan, you know? Azar, Amnon, whatever the fuck the motherfuckers' names be, Habib and shit. Yeah, all the motherfuckers. You know? All the motherfuckers. It doesn't matter. It's crazy motherfuckers in every goddamn race. You know? But like I say, only shallow people don't understand that shit. Either shallow people or people that just really just need to get out more. Like, these are literally people that judge books by their covers. You know? And that this is some shit they teach you when you in fucking kindergarten, is that you don't judge a book by its cover. Like they teach you this shit right around the time when you learn how to fucking read. Kindergarten, first grade, whatever. You don't fucking judge a book by its cover. You open that motherfucker up, you read it. You know, that's why I said a long time ago, look, man, these social media spaces are legit idiocracy. Like, people dumb, man. Like, people are dumb. And real shit. If you tell folks that shit, they'll tell you the dumb one. You the dumb one because you ain't dumb like they are. It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
Violence and, oh, that's just what men do. But with interracial femicide, it's white male violence, and it's used to fearmonger Black women out of opening up their romantic options to non-Black men. And to me, that's dangerous because it implies that Black men aren't unaliving Black women as much when they are actually doing it more. Same with high earning men, because when femicide happens in hypergamous relationships, y'all will also try to fearmonger Black women.
Like, you hear this shit. That's why I'm bringing up this video right here, because I already knew what the fuck that shit was. Like, this shit literally has nothing to do with Black men at all. At all. This is a very, very tragic story. It really didn't matter if this was a black bald head dude or whatever, it would be just as tragic as far as I'm concerned. That's what I was trying to tell. Yo, Big J, if you still in the building, you remember on your show, bro, I was trying to say that to Choco Kitty. I'm like, yo, I would, when I say I'm indifferent, it doesn't mean that I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm empathetic. I'm extremely empathetic, regardless, because that woman, whether I agree with, you know what I'm saying, the way she lived or her talking points or any of that shit, that woman had family and loved ones and a life and shit like that. And now, you know what I'm saying, I hope they get closure. She ain't deserved to lose her life or have it prematurely ended over that shit. That's bullshit. But I'm not going to put more emphasis into it than I would if it were a black dude, if it were a Spanish dude, if it were an Asian dude, if it was a white dude she was with. It really doesn't matter. Regardless, it looks like you out here with the wrong fucking dude. And I understand a crazy motherfucker could have came in any race. But then you got folks like Chrissy over here that's trying to tell you that, hey, well, Black men do it more, and so do wealthy men and shit like that. Okay, then deal with broke white dudes. Stop it. And even when y'all was breaking down the video last night, Tay, on Rose C channel, they were talking about how the Six to Goddess clip. And people took that shit personally when she was like, look, if you a bottom shelf bitch, chances are that's who you gonna end up you gonna end up with a bottom shelf Brad or a bottom shelf, You know what I'm saying? Bobby. Or bottom shelf Habib. Because you're a bottom shelf chick. Not because you're a black woman. But because you're probably not going to end up with a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. No, if you're doing fucking nails in fucking Greensboro, North Carolina, like it's probably not going to happen. And you got 3 kids with 3 different baby daddies and shit. Like it's probably just not going to happen. You know, so people gotta just understand that shit. Like when you're a shallow motherfucker and you can't look past basic shit, little cool trinkets and gifts and status symbols and just somebody's race or ethnicity or whatever, you can't see past that shit. More than likely, man, you're gonna end up with some crazy motherfucker. You're gonna end up with some crazy motherfucker. You're gonna end up with some piece of shit. And it's not because you're a black woman or because you're a black man or any of that. It's because at the end of the day, let's keep it real. You a piece of shit. You a piece of shit. You shallow. You selfish. You know what I'm saying? You a surface level thinking motherfucker. So you gonna get with a surface level motherfucker. Or let's just keep it real. You're gonna get preyed upon. Like you think you out here doing some smart shit? Nah, man. You the prey. You about to be a victim. You know, because con men, women, scammers, fucking predators, who the fuck do you think they prey on? They don't prey on the fucking smart, the well-off, and the wealthy. That's extremely rare. They prey on the gullible, the greedy, the low IQ, the selfish, the shallow, the emotionally driven. Nah, and I get it. And look, you can't help whether or not your mother worked 3 jobs. And I don't think there's anything fucking wrong with that. At all. But at the same time, I understand that if my mother worked 3 jobs and my grandmother worked 3 jobs, I'm unlikely to get with an old money type chick. Regardless of what her race is, I'm unlikely to get with an old money chick. And when I say old money, I'm talking about like, yo, you trace that shit back to the goddamn 1800s. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about old money, y'all definitely ain't gonna qualify for that shit. But y'all know that's what I'm saying. So I mean that's what she meant by that shit. It doesn't mean that you can't level up and change your circles and shit like that, but you're probably never gonna be in circles with old money motherfuckers if you not in those circles, if you're not from them families and shit. Like it just that's the way that shit works. You know? And that has nothing to do with race. Where do y'all think the term white trash came from? Black folks ain't make up that fucking term. That's a term they had for each other. You know?
and out of hypergamy. And that implies that broke men are safer than high-earning men when it's low and mid-earning men deleting Black women the most. Now, we can definitely talk about the unequal power dynamics that come with dating high-earning men and white men as well, but there is no shortage of those conversations happening online. The interracial...
And I'm going to tell you like this before I get back into this shit, right? Because I kind of like this because it is some kind of stats or whatever, but whatever. Aries Queen says Black men on YouTube tell Black women they can do whatever they want and call them prey at the same time. Look, man, these chicks on YouTube, as well as these niggas, are all fucking prey. Real shit. They're all marks, licks. You know? Or they up here fucking licking. Let's just keep it real. You know? They up here grifting, licking, or they just prime for that shit. They prime to fall for it. Because I already know most of these fucking YouTubers don't be believing the shit they be saying. And social media influencers, they don't even live by that shit. They don't live by that shit. But as far as most of the people that you see on these fucking panels and shit, every goddamn night, all day, all night and shit, fuck out of here, bro. All of them licks. And to be honest with you, they know that. Deep down, they know that. Even if they won't admit that shit out of their mouth, that's why they asses be on these panels at 2, 3, 4 in the fucking morning on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday fucking nights. Instead of, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the couch booed the fuck up, you know what I'm saying, with their significant other. Or, you know what I'm saying, laying on their side with a stiff one in them. They up here talking about relationships in the middle of the night. They ain't got one. And that's what I was saying before I had got muted on that panel last night. Well, I don't want to hear that shit. It's always some bitch talking about motherfucking femicide and the problems that Black women go through, and it's at the hands of Black men, but yet you ain't got no motherfucking man. You ain't had one in motherfucking years and all that other shit. You don't even like what's looking at you in the fucking mirror all the goddamn time. And if a hit dog is hollering, I don't give a fuck. For real. If you think you entitled to some kind of protection from any fucking man, Black or otherwise, go get you one. Go get you one. I never hear women that have a man crying about fucking being protected by men. The same way I never hear dudes that actually have a woman up here crying about fucking how women need to submit. I never hear that shit. No? So keep taking advice from only the lonely ass niggas and broads. No, that's what they say, man. You hang out with fucking 15 millionaires, billionaires, chances are you'll be the number 16. But you hang out with 15 bums, chances are you'll be the fucking 16. The same rules apply for lonely motherfuckers. Lonely, delusional motherfuckers. Keep hanging out with these motherfuckers, spending all your spare time with them. You'll be next. And stop believing this shit when these people come up on these goddamn panels in the middle of the night telling you about how their marriage be perfect and shit. Most of them fucking lying. They shit ain't fucking perfect. Their marriage and relationship be all perfect. That shit ain't fucking perfect. That's why they got to find an escape from it in the middle of the fucking night. Ain't no goddamn cuddling up. Ain't none of that. Hey, baby, I want a sandwich. Ain't none of that. The motherfuckers got insomnia and they got all types of goddamn, you know what I'm saying, issues and shit. What up, Sherry Berry? Appreciate Sherry. Sherry Berry is officially our show's sponsor for today. So shout out to Sherry Berry, man. Really do appreciate you. Appreciate that, Sherry. You know, with the super chat. But yeah, man, these motherfuckers will hit you with that bullshit. That's why they try to tell you, oh, well, getting married is the end game and goal. No, the fuck it's not. That's the beginning. That's the beginning. And if you lucky, you'll get to third base when it comes to that shit. Second, third base with that. Because after that honeymoon phase, a lot of these motherfuckers that say that shit couldn't even get through the honeymoon phase. You got motherfuckers talking this shit, was literally on live streams, married for all of maybe 2 months. If that. Fuck out of here. 2 months as opposed to till death do us part? Motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, everything's all good when shit's going good. What do? When that motherfucker, let's just keep it real. What you do when that motherfucker fart, man, and the whole goddamn room be stank shit? You know? Or motherfucker just got a fucked up day at work. And motherfucker just come home, don't want to talk to nobody, bro. Don't want to talk to any fucking body. Just want to sit there. What you gonna do? Fellas, what the fuck you gonna do, man? Your lady going through some shit. She don't even know why. She just ain't, hey, she just ain't feeling good. Just all types of shit. Hey, she don't even know. What you gonna do? You gonna give her space? You still gonna go, I don't care, make me a sandwich. Like a motherfucker told me on one of these panels a while ago, I don't care, hey, just bend over and give me what I want. The fuck? That's what I'm saying, man. These people be on here talking the most about some shit they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Dating and hypergamy warnings are literally being beat into Black women's heads every single day. You can literally find thousands of videos online warning Black women of all the dangers of dating white men and dating high-earning men and how they're so harmful and unsafe for women, but there's not actually enough focus on the type of relationships that women, and especially Black women, are suffering from the most.
I mean, the ones that women are suffering from the most, if you want to look at it per capita, are actually relationships with other fucking women, because domestic violence rates are their highest amongst fucking lesbians. So what the fuck is that? You're more likely to get the shit beat out of you by a chick. It's the hormones, got to get that blood work. Yeah. But most of these motherfuckers are scared to do that shit because they scared of the results they gonna find.
And that's why I'm here, because I am not about to let y'all just skip over that and pretend that Black women's biggest threat are white men and or high earning men, when the statistics just do not support that. And since y'all are not,
statistics actually show that your biggest threats are each other. But you can find any skewed statistic that you want. You're more likely to get into a physical altercation that can lead to permanent fucking scarring or even permanent deletion over some other chick that's either fucking your dude or wants to, or you're fucking her dude or some shit, than you are to actually get into some shit with your dude. I'm just saying. Y'all actually check the domestic violence statistics, but they won't do that.
Having an honest conversation about this, it's the perfect time to talk about the most common type of femicide, because this topic is going viral. Most of the Black women getting unalived by their partners are not public figures or soft life influencers like Ashlee. Many are not escorts or S-workers or divestors, and they still got unalived. Most are not with rich men or white men. They weren't online criticizing Black men or claiming that white men are better, which Ashlee did not do, by the way.
And that's the thing about it, Aries Queen. He's usually not even your fucking dude. But that's another problem. People like to claim other people. You know, yeah, they like to claim other people, you know, that they ain't even with. Just like I was showing on that video earlier, before we were interrupted, kind of shut down. You know, yeah. She's like, oh, but we were together, and the other chick is like, nah, y'all was not together. Y'all were just messing around. And then she went and had a baby by that nigga. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to be homegirls and shit. Funny. What up, Sherry Berry? Sherry Berry.
You knew I was coming up here. Now what?
What's going on? Shout out to you. You the show sponsor. I'm about to refill this coffee, and then I'm gonna get to the.
Nobody's nothing. Don't be putting. No.
What do you have to say about this right here?
Shit, some of them people is my people. They're my people right there. I like them. I love them. I'm sorry y'all got caught, baby. Damn. I'm looking at the faces. Shit. Goddamn. I'ma finish my shit out. If y'all get, what the fuck y'all doing? Stop being dumb. That's how I think about it.
Now, Sherry.
What? What?
You should be able to hear me now. All right. So when you talk about stop being dumb, right? What do you mean? You mean
Mike messing up. And I know you got a better mic. You do the purge, like purge motherfuckers and talk shit. Now you ain't talking.
I just host the show, but you should be able to hear me now.
Auntie, this some bullshit.
You can't hear me, Sherry? You should be able to hear me now. My bubble is popping. So what's up? You can't hear me, Miss Sherry Berry?
I got to be on Auntie show all by myself.
Really? My bubble's popping. It says that I can.
I was finna speak up for you, but go ahead.
You can't hear me, Sherry?
Ahead. Shit, I see.
Y'all do me a favor.
Them look like my people.
Drop down, Sherry, and come back. You can't hear him. Yeah, she can't hear me. Sherry, read that. What up, Big Roast? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop Sherry. All right, so we dropped Sherry, but Sherry, please come back if you're listening. All right, feel free to come back. I'm about to make my coffee and shit. You know, what up, Big Roast? Shout out to Brownie, Deacon Dave in the building. Divestment gone wrong. All right, we're gonna wait for Sherry to come back. So Sherry Berry, come back up. Sherry is our show sponsor for the day. And put that up here. And in the meantime, we're going to pay attention to what Chrissy's nut job ass is saying.
Claim people are making based on her tweets that were taken out of context. And I talked about that in my last video. So check it out if you haven't already. And most black women who date interracially are encouraged black women to date out or date up. We're not saying that white men or high earning men are perfect and have no flaws. That's literally y'all made up.
Can you hear me, Sherry?
Oh God.
Sherry. You said I got an echo?
Hold on. If I do, guys.
If I got an echo, y'all let me know. Because I'm about to switch my mics back in a second. Soon as I get back on here.
Can you
And I
hear
don't know.
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, Sherry Berry.
I'm working on a highway, so I'm really I'm not in a familiar place, so I don't know what's going on right now. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I'm working on a highway, and it probably is if you could teach me how to get the whatever it's called. Is you peeing?
No, but that means you can hear me because I'm making coffee. I told you that.
Oh, I was like, either
But hey,
you
but what that means is your ass can hear me, motherfucker.
you could have been frying something.
Nah,
What you frying?
I ain't frying nothing. But I did have to
Now
put some
here,
water in my kettle. Yeah. But go ahead. Go ahead. Now that you can hear me, feel free to talk on the situation when we say divestment gone wrong. You know what I'm saying? This black woman was unalived, you know what I'm saying, was unalived allegedly by her white fiance in Tanzania.
or fried chicken.
God damn it, Sherry, did you just hear me? Did you hear me, Sherry? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Come on, Sherry. Damn. Why she ain't gonna start talking until I play this clip.
Because you hate seeing black women with other races of men. And y'all also hate when black women have standards and want to date or marry hypergamously. So that's really the underlying issue with that. But to circle back to the point I was making, most black women who are victims of femicide were either dating or married to low to average earning men who look like them, and they were still unalived. So it kills the narrative that many black people are pushing right now about black women being safer with broke or low earning men.
Now who the fuck said that? Who the fuck said that shit? How much somebody earns? See, and that's another problem I got even with this narrative that Chrissy is trying to spit. How much somebody earns, that shit does not equate to how violent and how fucking crazy they are. You got broke motherfuckers that are not going to unalive their fucking chick. And then you got rich motherfuckers that will. I mean, that's just what it is. And the same rules apply with fucking women. You know? You know? You got women that and shout out to Rosie for saying that on her show last night. You got women that are hey, they in they with a dude probably living either at the poverty line or below it, but they got a loving fucking relationship and ain't never no DV or none of that shit in there. And then you got motherfuckers that are in the millionaire range, like in the millionaire status, big ass mansion, all of that shit, and motherfuckers is putting their paws on each other. Shorty, hey, the chick just be busting that nigga ass, dog. Got that motherfucker scared to death. You know, to even say anything to her. Stilettos flying, she just be popping that nigga in the back of the motherfucking head, all that shit. And trust me, I break down enough body camera footage to find and bust women that be putting their hands on dudes. So that shit happens, man. And none of that shit is gender fucking specific. So even when they want to talk about the whole femicide thing and things like that, and this is the point that I tried to make on Big J's, when you talking about people having these mental health issues that allow them to put their hands on other fucking people, of course women are going to get fucked up a little bit more because they're just that much more likely to lose the fight. That's it. So you know what the remedy to that shit is? There ain't no they don't need to change the fucking laws. People need to keep their goddamn hands to themselves. That's the remedy. You keep your fucking hands to yourself. If you a crazy motherfucker that loses their shit and you want to hurt something, break something, or unalive somebody when you don't get your fucking way, bro, go get therapy before you get into a goddamn relationship. Get goddamn help. Something is wrong with you, not the other person because they fucking set you off. The issue is you more often than not. I'm just saying. All right, and we are switching microphones back now. But nobody wants to admit that shit.
Safer with black men, especially when you consider that black women are unalived by their black male partners and experience DV.
Like I said, you got motherfuckers like Chrissy on this bitch that been spewing the same shit for years. And that's another thing that I was saying. It's amazing how the same people that been on this bitch for 10 plus years, that been on this bitch for 10 plus fucking years, only have one narrative to spin. It never changes. Ever. And what'd you say, Sherry?
Okay, let me see if you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
He's not a.
All right, that's it, Sherry. I can't slow it down no more. We got the playoffs on. You got some fucked up. Hey, you got some fucked up audio right now.
Another day, but hell yeah, I busted him in his head.
Yeah, just
right
what?
in the top. He got a head like yours, and I busted him straight in his shit. The fuck and what the fuck?
See what I'm saying? She just said, "Hey, she bust that nigga dead in his shit." All right. Now, if he would have just put his fucking hands around her neck and just strangled until her fucking pulse was gone, they would have called bitches like Chrissy would have called that shit femicide. But the law would have called it self-defense. You know what I'm saying? So, you say tomato, I say tomato.
Well, I lost my internet. Oh well.
Now, granted, I think there was more to that story that we really didn't hear much of what she said. So I'm pretty sure it was probably a little bit more to the story. But that's what I'm saying.
No, it is. I think I gotta talk to you from a distance. But yeah, he pissed me off. And I busted him in his motherfucking head. Who the fuck you think you playing with, bitch?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, women can be violent. I'm one of them. I try to do the cookie cleaning and yeah, do you want gravy? I can't fuck with that shit.
And I fucks with you, Sherry Berry. Thank you so much for being honest, when it comes to that shit, right? We do appreciate that. But that's the truth, right? That's the truth. A lot of these damn domestic violence relationships and shit like that, I'm telling you, that shit be mutual as fuck. Does that mean that I'm absolving, a dude that unalives his woman in a fucking hotel room and tries to make that shit look like a self-deletion, absolutely not. I'm not absolving that shit. But a lot of that shit be mutual. But in mutual combat, more often than not, there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser, or at minimum, somebody's going to get the better of the other one. Like, that's what it is. So, we're not just going to call every time somebody gets into a fight with somebody else and they lose the fight, now all of a sudden they're a victim. That shit's going to happen. It is. So the easiest remedy is for everybody to keep their fucking hands to themselves. And be a better judge of character. If you're one of those people with common sense and, like Cynical once said, a moral compass and discernment and shit like that, and you keep your hands to yourself, don't deal with other motherfuckers that are prone to not keeping their hands to themselves. Like, but let's just keep it real. A lot of these damn domestic situations and shit like that, these people be putting hands on each other. That's why they end up right back together more often than not.
From them at higher rates than other groups. And since the rates are higher, that can't be explained by proximity alone. Because I hear people making the proximity argument, but that doesn't explain the higher numbers. And I recently heard a Black woman say that the numbers are only higher because white people underreport their femicide and DV. But the stats say that that is actually the case for Black women. A lot of Black women don't report DV because we're afraid to call the police. And we don't want to criminalize Black men and potentially get them unalived by law enforcement. And we also fear that we as Black women will be criminalized by the system as well. Most Black women know that we are the least protected under the system of white supremacy. So many of us don't even bother with reporting the abuse. And like I always discuss on my channel,
look, that whole least protected fucking argument, miss me with the bullshit. If you're the least protected, who's the most protected? Like, miss me with the fucking bullshit. This system is not put in place right now to really protect any fucking body. Nobody. Stop it. If you want protection, go get you some. In America, we have the right to bear arms. It is our Second Amendment privilege. Second Amendment right. Get you a fucking man. One that won't beat your ass. He'll work as a great form of protection and a deterrent. But you see this shit? %97 of Black women survivors of abuse don't believe they be treated fairly by police or support services if they reported their experience. Bro, to be honest, I'm going to be 100% with that. What the fuck does this shit mean? You don't believe that you'd be treated fairly? Show me some stats that show whether or not you were treated fairly or unfairly or unfairly or whatever. Like, if we having a conversation and it's going to be a fact-based conversation, now you actually got opinions in here. You're polling people based on their fucking opinions, and then you're spewing it off the internet as if it's fact. That's bullshit. You know? What you believe and how you feel does not make you a victim. Now, not to say there's no truth to that opinion. It could be. But this right here doesn't state that. It just states 90 seconds because it looks like a very, very high percentage, and yeah, it should be taken seriously. But what you believe and what actually is are two different fucking things. So come on. And it says it right there.
Most Black women are conditioned to mule and mammy for Black men. We tend to coddle and protect them. So that contributes to our cases being underreported. And Black people are also trying to push this narrative that...
No, a lot of you have been, unfortunately, have been groomed to deal with ain't shit niggas that act like fucking bitches. That's why they lose their shit and go upside your fucking head, because they have no emotional fucking regulation. They go upside your head and throw temper tantrums like little fucking girls. You know? And unfortunately, when it comes to the Black demographic, a lot of both women and men have chosen to subscribe to the effeminization of men. It makes them feel fucking safer, or it makes them feel a lot more secure. So what ends up happening? A lot of Black women end up with bitch niggas. Bitch niggas that act like bitches. And the thing about niggas that act like bitches, they'll fight a fucking woman when things don't go their way. There's nothing masculine about that shit. Y'all have decided to fucking subscribe to masculinity being toxic. You know? Because the thing is, a fucking masculine man about to go back and forth with you, not in his fucking house, not in the household that he fucking pay the goddamn bills in and take care of and clean out the gutters and all of that. You're about to go back and forth with your motherfucking ass about shit. Ain't gonna be no fight, ain't gonna be no yelling, ain't about to be no motherfucking argument. You know, you either about to make some fucking sense. You either about to make some sense, that in which I'll listen to, or you can get on the other side of that fucking door. That's masculinity. But all that rah, key, going back and forth, that ain't fucking masculine shit. That's niggas acting like fucking broads. Yeah? And that's why you'll hear a lot of these women, even on social media, they'll come up here and be like, oh, well, we end up having to date down way more often than not. Nah, well, the thing is, if you dealing with a dude that's actually got his shit together, you know, and is comfortable in his masculinity, he's probably going to make you, not women in general, but just you feel insecure. Because there's nothing you can do. All of the shit that you've been groomed to do over the... I'm talking about a majority of Black households from like the late 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. What a lot of those women have been groomed to do, which is pretty much provide and protect, really like do what the fuck men are supposed to do. Like a lot of them been groomed to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? When you got a man that's already doing that shit, there's really not much you can add. And a lot of chicks know that. So what do? They just start fucking arguments and shit. They start arguments. They try to put that man in his place, all types of shit. And motherfucker ain't having that. That's why they even try to say the dudes that have their shit together, make a certain amount of money, whatever, those are educated lames. No, they're not. They just don't put up with bullshit. And the thing is, a woman that's secure in herself, she's not going to be intimidated by that. Because she already knows what she can add to his life and what he can add to hers. She can actually add a good woman. She can add femininity. She can make sure there's a woman's touch there. She can do all those things that a woman's supposed to do. And he's going to do everything that a man's supposed to do. Boom. Match made in fucking heaven. But all of you chicks that think men need to tone it down. and be a little softer and shit like that. Yeah, you end up with niggas that act like bitches. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Even Princella said that shit to a lot of them chicks. You know? And I don't even be agreeing with Princella. But hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. She said, she's like, a lot of y'all chicks just need to just be honest. You really want a woman in a man's body. But then when you get one, you crying femicide. Make it make sense.
White men aren't held accountable when they abuse or unalive Black women, but in most cases they are. Maxwell Anderson, the white man who unalived Sade Anderson, he got a life sentence for deleting her. And there are several other white men who are serving decades in prison for unaliving their Black woman partners. So most white men who commit these crimes are not getting away with it. Now, it has been reported that there are barriers,
but they won't admit that shit. That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, if you want a bitch, you can't get mad when you end up with a bitch. What up, GOAT? Shout out to Taz, man. What up? What up? You know? But yeah, you got to be real about that shit. Like,
that Black women face when it comes to getting our abusers prosecuted. So I'm not saying that they never get away with it, but most of the abusers that aren't getting prosecuted are Black men, because that is who Black women date and marry the most. So no matter how you slice it, Black femicide is mostly an intra-racial issue, not an interracial one. And if you can't be honest about that as a Black person, then you aren't serious about protecting Black women. I don't care what you say. And I heard somebody say, oh, well, this Ashlee situation is why Black women should stop bashing Black men online, and that's why Black women are unprotected. Telling the truth about Black men online is not the reason they are unaliving us. That's not the reason they don't collectively protect us. Black men were unaliving Black women at higher rates before Black women got online and said anything about them. Before the divestment movement was a thing and swirling was being encouraged and soft.
Man, whatever. I'm going to get back to that in a minute after I read this damn super chat. Shout out to L. Nixon. Something to think about. He said, what ends up happening is these women who go hard on Dusties end up getting those same Dusties hard and end up with them. Oh, shit. Damn, them some bars. I got to start from the beginning with that shit, man. Them some fucking bars right there. He said what ends up happening is the women who go hard on Dusties end up getting those same Dusties hard and end up with them. A leopard doesn't change their spots just because they date a panther. Damn. Bars. Man, shout out to L. Nixon, man, with the super chat, man. Appreciate that. Bro, you can't. I mean, I couldn't put that shit better myself, bro. And that's why somebody like Chrissy, even with this situation, Ashlee Jenae, this is a fucking white dude. This has nothing to do with Black men at all. Yes, there have been a bunch of dudes that have their opinion, and you got a bunch of fucking, I'm not even going to say weirdo niggas, lonely ass niggas that are pretty much doing the same shit she doing. They on the other side of the same coin. They're trying to spin a narrative, the same narrative they usually do every fucking day. You know, they got to get on the divestors and shit like that. So you got a bunch of dudes that's gonna fucking do that shit. But at the end of the day, anybody with common sense will say, look, this ain't got shit to do with Black men. It really don't. And I'm not even gonna put this shit on Black women like that, man. The fuck out of here. This is a one-off. You know, right here. This is a crazy motherfucker. Okay? And a woman that was obviously a bad judge of character, which can happen in any situation. It can happen in any situation. But I will say this much. If you're one of them people that just pedestalize and worship fucking whiteness because it's white or it's just better than Black and all of that other shit, then you're perpetuating shit like this. This is how shit like this happens. Yeah. And thank you, May. That's what I'm saying. Look, it's all of the generalization. When you talking about actual relationships and shit, that these like, bro, these stats and shit really don't mean nothing. They don't, because a marriage, a fucking partnership, relationship, that shit is between two fucking people. So your one relationship can always be the exception to the rule. What's up, Op Val? What's going on? What's good with you? You got that dough in the avatar. What's good with you? You know? But yeah, that's the way that shit is, man. That shit, your shit can easily be the exception to the rule. So, I mean, if you're an exceptional person, like you should be with an exceptional person. Like, okay, as a black man, if I'm with a black woman, I already know there's only but so many black women that are going to fit into the role that my woman she's one of a kind. Yeah, even though she might share a skin tone and a demographic with you bitches, y'all ain't nothing like her. The same way I might share a skin tone and a demographic with a lot of the fuck niggas y'all deal with. I ain't nothing like them niggas. You know, I know that. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm chilling. You got the floor.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. I love this topic because it really shows you what people worship and what people respect. Because everybody got an excuse for this dude. I have seen so much. I know Anton Daniels, all these different excuses. And even the police got excuses. No, he's a rich white man. He wouldn't do that. He's this, he's that. You see what people value so-called wealth, they value status, and they value race, and they're making excuses for this. And even the black women who love to talk about femicide, especially divestors, they making excuses. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. The reality is a lot of divestors and women who want to swirl, in my opinion, I think they worship whiteness. And I think that they will look past red flags. I think they'll accept abuse. I think they'll accept all kind of things that are going to lead to their death. And they don't care because they got a white man, especially if he got some money.
Yep. Nah, hey. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Now, here was an argument that I've seen on multiple channels. It was like, okay, so because people are extremely shallow, and I know that's not what you're saying right there, but when a lot of people are hearing this, they're like, oh, so you're saying that black women should settle and they're just supposed to deal with broke dudes?
Well, I'm not looking at the money aspect so much because I think that a lot of people, they get it wrong on the internet. And I think it's because a lot of young people talk about it. But really, if you really look at it, for the most part, people stay within their social class. You stay around the people who you have access to, the people you shop around, the people you live around, the people who you have just common social class with. Mostly rich people, they end up marrying, like they're truly rich, they end up marrying rich people. They already know each other. They went to school, they went to private prep school together, right? They went to Harvard together. That's their pool of. So when you see rich people who are marrying people who are outside of the social class, they go and get somebody who's really poor or whatever, or even middle class. Something strange about them. Something strange about them. They usually pick among their own, and that's kind of common everywhere. Middle class people tend to date among people. Professional class date among professional class. Poor folk, ghetto folk, they date among themselves for the most part. Just like most people date in their own race. It's very common. It's not unusual. So when you have outliers, you have to ask yourself, if you're a white man and you want a poor black woman, what's going on with you? That's my question. You're a wealthy white man. What's going on with you that you not only separate yourself from your race, but you also separate yourself from your own social class? What's up? Why are you doing that? You
Well,
need somebody you can manipulate, somebody you can abuse, somebody you can have a power dynamic, or what you trying to do?
mm, well, I mean, there could be a lot of different reasons for that too, right? Because there's something that, especially amongst white people, you're gonna see that this is more common with white folks than it's gonna be with black folks just naturally when we're in America, right? And that's the old money dynamic. So all wealth ain't created equally. So one of these fucking .com millionaires or somebody that done built some fucking concrete construction company or some shit like that that's now all of a sudden worth 50 million or $100 million. That don't necessarily mean that you're gonna be accepted in that damn country club, with all them folks, because your money
True,
ain't old, you know.
true, true, true.
And that's what I think a lot of people don't look. I did a stream, what was it, a few months ago, because they were talking about the NBA players, right? And nowadays, you see a lot of them, with white women, dudes darker than me. You know what I'm saying, they be with white women and shit like that. And it's like they're like, oh well, as soon as they get rich, they want a white girl. I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like this is not what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? These kids don't grow up playing on the street goals and shit like that anymore. They go into prep school, AAU, all of that shit. And then in college. So a lot of times they're not even around black girls and black women. They are in high school with CEOs, daughters and shit.
Right, right. Absolutely.
So it'd be very few black girls that even go to those schools or whatever. So like, even though you might see a LeBron James with a Savannah James, who do you see Bronny with?
Oh
You
yeah,
see him
yeah.
like the Frozen, the chick on Frozen. Not because he just want white girls. That's all the kid grew up around.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. You're gonna pretty much go with
Rich.
what's around you, what you have access to. Absolutely.
He was born rich, and that's what I'm saying. So you see and especially a lot of these kids that are second generation athletes, and their kids done put them in, or their parents done put them in prep schools and all of that shit. Yeah, you're gonna see that. So it's not that a lot of them are like, oh, I just like white women. Gotta have some cream in the coffee. No, bro, that's all they know. That's all they know. So a lot of times that is the proximity. Just like you said, people gonna be just more so around their social classes. I tried to break, but a lot of people still have that surface level thinking. No. If I see it with white women, that means that's all they want is white women. It's like, bro, you got to understand. A lot of times, the only black women that are even gonna get access to those dudes, have to make it past the checkpoints. Like they got to get past security. Their water guns full of tequila and shit. Like that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the IG thoughts and the hoes. That's it. But as far as like who they grew up around, in the prep schools and the parties and all of that other shit, where tuition is fucking $25,000 a semester and shit just to go to high school. Yeah, some of them boys that got to go on scholarship and shit like that. But how many girls are getting scholarships to them schools for the same thing?
Absolutely.
It's rare.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's say new rich. So what? So we got an exception for the new rich. They able to relate to somebody who may be from the social class they used to belong to, maybe. But then you have to think for yourself as a woman, for example, if I'm dating a dude who's new rich, what comes with that? I don't know why. Women we do have these fantasies. Not me, but a lot of women do. Somebody's wealthy and they're going to be giving us an abundance and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And they just want me to be a princess and just lay back and enjoy the ride. I would challenge women who think like that, fantasy like that. Yes, that includes the Shira 7. I'm a fan, but that includes a lot of those delusional women that are over there. You got to think, what's the pay? What do you have to pay? Nothing's free. What is the pay for a newly rich man? There's power dynamics. For the first time in his life, maybe he got a little something, right? For the first time in his life, he actually realizes that money is power. And is that dynamic going to play out in your relationship? Are those power dynamics? You're the poor girl, depending on him, and he's got white male privilege too. How's that going to work out?
I mean, I would ask you this. Okay, that's why I say water finds its own level. So if you're a person of substance, how the hell does somebody that's using power dynamic like sees power dynamics in a relationship? How the fuck do they even get access to you? And if they do get access to you, how the hell do they get past the first checkpoint? Like how the hell is there even a second date, let alone a marriage? You know,
Well, I don't think people come out the box with the power dynamics necessarily. Even within the same social class, I don't think people necessarily come out with the power dynamics on day one. I think that particularly the fantasy that women have, it looks to me, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it looks to me like girlfriend thought she was going to get a free ride. She's going to have a fantasy life. She's already blogging it and all that type of stuff. So she has a narrative in her mind. I am just beautiful enough that somebody wants me and they're going to wife me and they're going to take care of me. They're going to give me all my fantasies. I get to go to Zanzibar and ride zebras and shit. I get to eat, the $200 filet mignon. He has money endlessly. He's going to spend it all on me. Fuck all of y'all black people. Fuck all of y'all Negroes. I'm different now. That was her narrative, as far as I can tell. Okay. And so I'm sure he wined and dined her like most people do. They give you what do they call it? The new relationship energy. They give you all of that. He's happy. But then there's points where he's gonna say, who knows how they got there? She might want to go to Europe. He said, no, we're going to Africa. They start making all the decisions because they are the ones spending the money. At the end of the day, what they say goes, and what you want to do, you either come along. I think even Anton Daniel said that. You get what my program and get the fuck on. I think it turns into that eventually. It might be subtle at first, but if you want to keep going down that ride, and see, the thing is, she wanted to get that ring. So that's what they do. They do the white girl thing. Oh, sure, sweetie. Sure, sweetie. And you keep doing all that, sure, sweetie. And he's like, check mark, check mark, check mark. And he walking your ass down a path of complete control.
like I say, I don't even have a problem with that, with people that have that attitude. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You get with my program or you get the fuck on, because you have an option. Hey, you can still get the fuck on. So I don't see what the problem is, with that.
Well, I do, because it could be sex on demand, and that's the meaning to the person. I'm putting all this money on you. I want my stuff right now, and you need to get to it. It can be demeaning. I mean, it sounds good, be on my program, but what does your program look like? That's the question. And if I was a poor black girl, I would be asking myself, oh,
I'll read this in a second. Go ahead.
oh, I didn't know if I didn't know if I had dropped. Okay, I thought it had dropped for a second. Um, but if I was a poor black girl, that's what I would be asking myself. I'd be saying to myself, what are the power? I mean, if you're intelligent, what are the power dynamics going to be? Is this going to be something that's going to turn ugly? Or is this something that's going to be respectful? How could this end up putting me in a bad situation? I would have to ask myself that question. Don't you think?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Before I go to that, hold on, let me read the super chat real quick. He said, shout out to L. Nixon again. You know what I'm saying? $10 Holly said, we can't deny the violence to black women by black men, but it needs to be, he was like, it needs to be discussed. However, divestors ignore history, ex trafficking, state of the economy, and the fact that people were vaccinated with BS ran by, et cetera, dot, 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 dot. I mean, it's a lot of shit that people want to just ignore because it spins, it's a narrative. Now, I know what you were saying. Yeah, it can be demeaning to somebody else to be like, okay, whatever, sex on demand, do this, do that, whatever. But hey, I agree. If you're not willing to be what your significant other, needs you to be for them, or thinks they need you to be for them, then yeah, get the fuck on. That's not the significant other for you. So I don't see why that's such a why that option, like people just ignore it. Like, nah, I'm like, and I even say the same thing to women. I'm like, y'all don't have to change your standards or anything like that. You want a dude that makes fucking $300,000-$400,000 a year, looks like a man, fucks you, but he acts like a fucking woman and speaks in soprano and shit and all that other shit. Hey, whatever. Hey, I hope you get it. It's highly unlikely that you'll get it, but hey, good luck. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think people should settle for what the fuck they don't want or they don't think that they deserve or anything like that. I'm just saying, if a dude's demanding, nightly sex from you, no matter how the fuck you feel or whatever, hey, I'm like, yo, give it to him or get the fuck out. Like, I don't see what's so wrong with that.
Man,
But to say,
Auntie, you didn't win in pimp mode. God damn.
I'm really not saying that because I'm like, if you don't want to do that, just go. Like, why get with somebody and then say, well, you know what, those standards that you have, you need to change them. I wouldn't say that shit to a woman. If this is what the fuck you want from me, I'm not gonna get with you and then tell you, you know what, you need to change your standards on me. Like,
But how
nah.
many people, Auntie, how many people come with that bullshit on day one? How many people come and say, when I call you names, you gonna take it, okay? When I slap you across your face, you gonna take it, okay? How many people walk folk into submission like that? People walk folk like a long, slow walk into being demeaned and disrespected. It don't happen on day one. That's what I'm saying. And she got to know that that's a possibility. This dude got money. And somebody brought it up in the chat. I can't remember who it was. They just said even there's an age difference. So you want to dominate by age, right? Because you got more experience. You want to dominate by social class. And then you dominate by your hierarchy as a white male. So you need all these power dynamics. And the only thing you can find is you a poor black girl who's young. Something ain't right with you. I guess they just worship white men too much.
I would agree with that. I'm not even gonna disagree with you there. But you got enough sense to realize that before you take a fucking trip to goddamn Tanzania and accept and accept the fucking marriage proposal and all of that other shit. Like, hell nah. Like, something ain't right with you, motherfucker. I ain't about to be in no foreign nation with your motherfucking ass, a 500,000 miles away from my goddamn family and shit. Like, hell nah. Like,
And see,
that's what be a decent judge of character. Like, you don't listen to what somebody's fucking telling you. Like, you pay attention to who they are, and then you decide whether or not you're going to believe them. I understand that much about people, and that's that people will lie. People will lie to get what the fuck they want. So, like, yeah, you're an asshole for lying to me, but I'm an idiot for believing a liar. And hey,
yeah, shit gets real later. Shit can get real later. People don't start out. People don't start out, Auntie, as assholes. They show you a little asshole, then more asshole, and then the thing is, if you stay, that's the thing. You keep walking past red flags. Don't be surprised when you stand in the field of them. Oh, somebody else is up here. Okay.
yeah. Now, Black Man is Fair just came up. And we're
Yeah.
gonna get to
Peace
him
and
in a second.
blessings. Peace and blessings. Yeah. Peace and blessings.
Absolutely. And I've always said this from day one. I'm like, look, I get it. People do need to be accountable for the things that they do, the bad shit that they do. No doubt. But people also need to be accountable for being bad judges of character. So I know people don't like it when folks be like, look, you need to choose better. But yeah, if you're going to trust somebody that's untrustworthy, you got to take accountability for that. And I more so had that conversation amongst dudes because I'm like, bro, I'm sick of y'all blaming women for the bad choices that you make. As far as women, whatever, y'all, hey, y'all do what the fuck y'all do. Y'all women, man, y'all, hey, whatever. I personally don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, women got to take accountability for that shit too. If I end up with the wrong person or a fucking liar, and like I said, if I believe a liar, I am a fucking fool. I am an idiot. I'm not supposed to believe a liar.
I
And
agree.
if I don't have the people skills and the character judgment to be able to spot a liar or at least allow a liar not to get away with lying to me more than once. Like, it's one thing, I can trust you enough, but after the second, third, fourth, fifth fucking time you done got away with lying, now now I'm just stupid. You know, like for real. And I don't think a lot of people don't want to be able to look in the mirror. You know what? I fucked up, and that's all I'm saying. Even when somebody fucks you over, that shit can happen. But that's what true accountability is just understanding what you did to allow yourself to even be in that situation, allow yourself to be taken advantage of. But here, I'm gonna go right to Black Man is Fair. Give us a little something, bro.
Hey, peace and blessings, man. Thank you for having me as always. Man, I just agree with you, Ant. You know what I mean? Self accountability, being a good judge of character. You could leave at any time. You don't, like the situation. So, and then my question to May would be, when is a woman a grown woman? I mean, it seems like everything, she's always a victim, like when is a grown woman with freedom and it can make decisions and she can live with her decisions? Like, it seems like everything a man does is like he's grooming a woman and she doesn't know what's going on. And now it's like a man is always the bad guy and the woman is always this helpless angel and a victim. And so it's just like, and then, being an escort, that's not, when is that a favorable, occupation or something, moral, or that we hold in high standard? Like,
Who's the
you think
escort?
the type of the woman that was unalived in Africa.
Wait a minute. Has that been verified?
I mean, it hasn't. That's alleged, but just judging by her social media shit and shit like that. And I even said that this is just my opinion on it. Hey, he was out there, realized he wasn't the only motherfucking trick in the Rolodex.
Oh shit! Oh,
I see it. But also, I think she also realized like she wasn't the only working girl in the Rolodex neither. And
so
I think
two
that's
hoes.
you had a hoe and you had basically, I mean, that's the way I saw it. I'm like, you had a hoe and you had a trick. And they were in a foreign nation when each one of them realized exactly who the fuck they were, exactly who the other one was.
And both professions, both fields of, activity is full of mental illness and full of craziness and full of, it's not, that. So when you say a hoe and a trick, or two evil people, two evil spirits, trying to trick each other and do things, these people get together all the time.
I believe a hoe fell for her trick and a trick fell for the hoe.
That's explosive.
I believe that's what happened, and that's where the whole domestic shit came into play. And next thing you know, somebody's unalived. Just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. That's alleged.
No, it sounds like that's what happened. Damn. So he just grabbed her by the neck and just choked the shit out of her. Damn.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
it looks like it was made to look like a self-deletion and a hanging. You know what I'm saying? Like she hung herself.
Yeah, I don't think any black folks ever hung themselves. They always say we hung ourselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
some
cold.
people
That's
say
cold.
it's some people say like a sacrifice or something to that degree.
Yeah, black people. That's the last
A
thing
lot.
somebody black gonna do. They'll blow their brains out. They're not finna hang themselves. That's not, nobody wants to die by hanging. That's a code. If a white man did it, y'all walk away, leave it alone, don't prosecute. That's what that is. That's code. But um you were saying to me, when does a woman finally get grown? That's a great question. I don't see women as victims. I think we slick, and I think we're smart, and I think we constantly outsmart men all the time. We just do a good job of not looking like it, you know. Um, I think that as women, we need to always look at power dynamics, and it's our mistake if we don't, you know, because that's just been the history of women. Women have always had to deal with power, and anytime a woman walks into anything with a man, she has to ask herself, what is this going to look like? What is my exit? Do I have an exit? What will, the longevity of this be? Can it be sustained? And if it can't be sustained, what do I have left after this? Always thinking with the possibility of end in mind. That's required for women to survive in this world. Because starting over at what, fucking 50 or 40 or something, it's not easy. So women have to be careful. So I would say women, as soon as you start dating, you grown. You absolutely grown. And you do have to be careful what you're doing. So women are grown, no doubt. I don't think women are children.
All right,
All right.
I like
That's
that
it.
part. But at the
Yeah,
same
fair
time,
enough.
I would also say this: like, look, starting over at 50, just like May said, and this is always the excuse that a lot of people have, especially in these spaces on the internet. But I even got this in conversations in real life too, that it's not easy. So life is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So what? What the fuck worth having is easy.
Not making no excuses.
If
We
you're
gotta
gonna go
figure it out.
the easy way out all of the fucking time, chances are you'll get the easy results. You know, and when it comes to winning and losing is easy. Winning takes
Okay.
work. Winning takes work, sacrifice, preparation, perfect practice, all of those things. Like it's the little things that you do when nobody's watching. And this equates to whether or not you're talking about, sports, whether it's just like your working habits, whether it's finances or it's relationships, that shit, whatever it is, it all of these things come into play when you're talking about truly being successful. True success in anything is not easy.
But what if you invest your so-called success into the man? I'm not that type of woman, but what if you are? And that's what I'm talking about. That shit is not easy. You can't be light about that, Auntie. You can't be light about that. His success is his education. But she thought his education was her success. Now he's out the picture. She has no education. She has no money. That mansion, them houses, that all that stuff, the businesses, all the success, the friends, the social network, all of that, the cars and this and that, the money is his. And when you align yourself to a man because of his success, while you have none, you damn right. You starting from zero. Do you understand what starting from zero is, Auntie?
Yeah, I do. I've had to start from zero on more than one occasion, actually on two occasions. So I know. Yeah. And having it and then having it, losing it, and then having to start from zero is tougher than never having it at all. 100. But hey, just like I said, winning is hard. Losing is easy. So I know it's not easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would be successful. Everybody would have that storybook ending. But everybody doesn't. More people got more people get shit than end up with sugar in life. That's life. That's the way it is. So, and some people are going to get lucky, and it'll seem like they had like little to no adversity. Other people are going to have to work a little bit harder, and other people are just going to be fucking unlucky. Like you can do everything right and just get fucked up results. It's understandable, but you can kind of hedge that bet over time and kind of swing the odds in your favor by doing just the right things to swing things in your favor. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, if you're looking for a good person and you want to be attracted to a good person, I'm like, the first thing you got to do is be a good person your goddamn self. That's the easiest way to be able to spot somebody's bullshit because you'll just realize that they're nothing like you, regardless of what the fuck they're saying. You know what I'm saying? That because they can say whatever, but
Right, but people who chasing money, they don't care about character that much, in my opinion.
I agree. And shout out to L Nixon with the $5 ball. He said, "Tell May she's not allowed to have too much sense. That's not tolerated."
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
not tolerated. Yeah, too much sense. Your sense will fuck up an argument in these spaces. So be careful. Perfectly good argument.
I do have a question for what's his name?
Who?
Black.
Black
Yeah,
Manosphere.
Black.
Oh, Manosphere. Manosphere. Okay. Um, can you elaborate more when you said that it seems like women don't want to grow up or don't want to be considered grown or always victims? I'm curious, what situations are you speaking on?
I'm saying I'm listening to the things that you saying, and it's like, sexually, if he's like grooming her, like saying certain things to her and like getting her to be this other person now, or just like things that men do or can suggest, or and women go along with it, but it's like she's never being responsible for herself and her own decisions, and it's like everything is happening to her, and it's the man's fault, especially if it goes wrong, obviously. So it seems like sometimes women can make other women always seem like the victim, and the man is just, he's doing all these horrendous things to her and turning her into somebody else, or he won't allow her to do something, or he wants sex all the time. She doesn't want to give. If she's got some type of standard and some type of thing that, okay, I don't do that, and, what I'm saying? So if we go in there, then the relationship's over. Then there's no continuing of the relationship. So I just try to find out from women, when women talk about frontal lobes developed and all these I'm trying to think, when is a woman ever grown and I did that, this happened, and that's the end of it, and moving on. So I just see a lot of examples. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'll just say I see a lot of examples of women always making a woman out to be a little girl, a child. And you just said earlier, like, no, you see, once a woman is grown, she's grown, she starts having sex, she's out there, she's doing the thing, she's grown. So, but a lot of women do take the stance of, she's a little girl, she's innocent, the age gap, a lot of different stances of women looking at another woman as a victim or a little girl. So
Okay, I see what you're saying. But don't you agree that grown folks can be manipulated?
I don't believe in that.
Really? You don't think
I'm
grown
glad you
folks can
said
be
that.
manipulated? Wait a minute, brother. Say it one more time. You don't believe that grown folk can be manipulated. Say that on record.
Yeah. Yes, I mean,
Oh.
I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in all this manipulation. I think people are suggestive, and I think people like things. I think people have certain fantasies of things, so they're already certain primed for certain lies that the fantasy in the mind already created. So when it presents itself, it's already I was waiting. I'm saying I could eat that. I could go with that. I was waiting for just the guy like you, to do that, or a woman like you to do that. I believe men are a lot of that by a sexy woman, he's always now confused, or it's all about sex and she could do anything now because I got this beauty in my life. I think people make decisions. It's not manipulation.
I think people can be manipulated, and a lot of people are manipulated, and they will find a way to say it's a trade off. Well, I'm tricking on her because like it's a decision, but there's manipulation behind it because that person knows the moment I pull away my beauty or my sex or my attention, you're gonna fold. You're gonna do exactly what I want, and you know it, and I know it. But we both agree to this. This is a trade off. And those are there's so what I agree with you that we sometimes do need to be careful and not make it like women are little girls, right? We don't need to make it like a woman is always the victim. There was an honest trade-off. We can say that. We know that when we sign up for somebody who's uber rich and we are so opposite than them, we're trading off something. I think I said that at the beginning. You know there's a trade-off. And I was wondering why that girl didn't try to say to herself, well, why do he want me? He doubled my age or close or whatever, and he's rich and he is outside of his race. We have nothing in common. What is this about? There's a trade off here. Now, what is it? What am I trading off for this? I'm going to get this, and then what is he going to get? Full power, control. Now that I realize she a hoe, everything changed my mind a little bit. That changed everything.
No, but hey, look, when I would say this, when you said like the whole manipulative thing, I do believe that people can be manipulated. But at the same time, I believe that the easiest people to manipulate or the most likely to be manipulated are manipulative people themselves. Just like I said, scammers, grifters, predators, they usually go after a certain personality type. And those that are most susceptible to scams and grifts and shit are like the greedy, the selfish, the lazy. You know, the people that get scammed out of their money and shit are usually people trying to get rich real quick.
Yeah, true.
Real shit. and then they get got by somebody who just gets them for their bread. Those be the people that fall for the MLM schemes and the Ponzi schemes and shit like that. People trying to come up like that, and the same thing goes with manipulative people, or manipulate people that say that they were manipulated or whatever. So just like you said, why wouldn't she notice the trade off? Why does he want me? Well, she thought she was coming up on him. That's what I'm saying. She's so focused on what the fuck she can get that she ain't paying attention to what the hell he's trying to get from her. Like, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people be thinking that there was a situation that happened in these spaces. I'm not going to say any names because I could get a little messy, but I said this a while ago. There was some shit with a dude and a woman on here, and then I guess they found out that she was paying him. She was paying him, and then he ended up bouncing on her, airing her the fuck out, ending up with some other chick, right? And everybody's like, damn, he took advantage of her. I'm like, yeah, but that's the only reason why he was able to do that, because she was trying to take advantage of his ass. And a lot of people didn't understand that. They're like, how is she trying to take advantage of him? I was like, you really think motherfuckers doing that shit out of the kindness of their goddamn heart? Fuck out of here. You tried to use your money and your time, and that dude's what was perceived as desperation to keep a dude under your motherfucker, to literally keep a dude under your armpit. And then that's manipulation in itself.
Yeah. And look at Cassie though. Look at Cassie.
I'm gonna say this right here. In that case, this is supposed to be a woman that got all this shit going for her. You got the education, you got money and good looks and all of this shit. Hey, why wouldn't you go with a dude that got his shit together? I'll tell you why. Because you would actually have to be a woman for that dude. And it's easier for you to get this motherfucking dude because all you gotta do is come out the pockets, pay a couple of fucking dollars, whatever. And you tried to get a motherfucker, you had the mommy. That's manipulative right there. That's manipulative. So I'm not surprised that motherfucker just got you for your dough and bounced. That's what's supposed to happen, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. The easiest people to manipulate are the manipulative.
That's a good point. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess people can. Yeah, people. Of course, manipulation exists. People can be manipulated. I just don't see that from myself. Like, I like to hold myself accountable. I like to bring everything back to myself.
Let me give it right back to you, right? Because even that story right there, when that shit came out, there were people that were on this motherfucker trying to paint that person out like they was a victim, in that shit. Like they are the victim. So to go to what you were saying earlier, nah, there were no victims in that shit. Just a couple of volunteers. It's just one person ended up winning. That's it.
Man.
It was a fucking war of manipulative motherfuckers, and one person came out above the other one. That's it.
Man.
Go ahead though. My bad, cutting you off.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah. I don't like to look at myself as being manipulated. Like, I'm going along with something that I think is going to be prosperous for me. If not, then I was cheated out of something, or you know what I'm saying? Somebody, you know what I mean? So I didn't get what I thought I was getting into, and I got somebody's a liar, and you know what I'm saying? And I got to be able to recognize those characters, and my spirit got to be able to judge spirits and things like that, so that I'm not with people who would disregard me or mistreat me. So that's what I would look for in relationships. You know what I mean? How is this person treating me, and how do they regard me?
Bro, I would go a step further. That's why I be saying, especially in these spaces, when I see these niggas fall for the dumbest shit, what a lot of people like to call the pick-me's and shit like that, these chicks that pander to these niggas. They're like, oh, that's a perfect woman. I'm like, no, the fuck, they just telling you what the fuck you want to hear, so that you pay them. For real. I would prefer to have a woman give it to me real from from either her own perspective or from the perspective of a woman. Because ain't no woman supposed to totally understand where the fuck we coming from as men. They're not supposed to. They're women. And you ain't
That's
supposed to
true.
understand every place they coming from. As women, you're not supposed to. So when
That's
these
true.
women come up on these damn platforms and agree with everything that y'all are saying and regurgitate your bullshit, you have to know that you're being fucking lied to.
Well, I agree with you, but due to I could sum things up due to personality, right? Emotions, you know what I mean? I could sum where you're up and where you're at in mind and with information. This is where connection becomes so prevalent at how connected are we, and how much am I paying attention, how attentive are we all to each other, and that's all about connection. And I could be but being a good judge of character as well. You can there's not too many things that a human being can do or think from or want in life, you know what I mean? So it's like human beings are pretty easy to figure out, and then it's
They're
like
not.
what emotion are you in, and then are you willing to express that, or can I just see that written on your face, written in your mood? And I could put things together, but not nobody's perfect or nothing is guaranteed. But if we're more connected to each other and we care, I think we can figure each other out.
I agree with most of what you said, but that part where you real confident that you can figure folk out, I don't know, brother. Um, and the reason why I say that is two or three things. I would add if you know the family real well and you know the family history real well and you've gotten to know somebody's family and who their family knows them to be, you're real close, right? But you have to see people in different circumstances and situations too. Sometimes you haven't been dating or been married to somebody long enough to see how they react when X, Y, and Z happens, right? Because it might be a rare occasion. I don't have any experience in this, but there are people I've seen have a good marriage and then one of them becomes unemployed, right? And because
Mhm.
they have never crossed that bridge before, everything changes. It can implode or it could be a place where they gel together, but you don't know until you get to some extremes. Death, right? That's another one. Or a person end up with a disability or something extreme happens to their health. You got shit that you don't know a person until they cross certain, situations, which might be extreme, but they're realistically likely to happen at some point. And then the other thing is, you got to remember that you have people who are pathological, and they're very good at hiding pathological behavior. Very good at it. We hear about serial killers and Unabombers and all kind of people. You're like, but he's such a nice guy. Nobody ever had a clue, or a woman never had a clue. You know what I'm saying? So we got to leave a lot of space. We assume because people are nice and they behave culturally normal that we got somebody that's normal. You don't really know 100%. That's my thought.
All right. Now I would say
I
this
agree
much.
with you.
Don't get me wrong. People are good at being pathological, but other people are good at ignoring what the fuck is right in front of them too. People are extremely good at seeing what the fuck they want to see. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah,
That's why
I like to
the
pay
shit
attention and be attentive.
as men, what they say, never trust a big button to smile. Like it's got to
Mhm.
be a little bit more to it. Everything that glitters ain't gold. So I mean, if you'll fall for a handbag, and a trip, a vacation, and what a bunch of people on social media are telling you, I mean, this is what can happen. That's why I say, I'm like, yo, what price do you put on your own life? Is your life worth a fucking handbag? Um, a, a business class flight? Like, is your life really worth that? Because
Worth the
unfortunately,
risk.
for a lot of these folks, their life ain't even worth that. That's why they'll risk it just to have that shit.
Yeah,
You know.
it's true. It's true.
So I understand that I just understand that's human nature. Like, people will lie, and the best liars are the ones, just like you said, they pathological, which means they believe the shit that they're saying. Like, they believe it. They've already convinced themselves of the bullshit that they're telling you. That's why it comes off as so believable.
Absolutely.
You know?
And you know
So
what, you made a good point to say that whether a person thinks their life is worth something, you actually got people that will take them risks because of social media, in my opinion. Purely because of social media, I can be somebody. You know, I'm willing to ride out, do whatever I gotta do because this is my chance to be somebody. Especially people who ain't got a chance to be nobody, you know? They'll take the risk.
no, I mean, that's what they were saying when this woman was posting all of these, just like you said, all of them pictures on zebras and all of that shit, man, just to be able to have some shit to post. They'll take those risks. That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of folks need to start ignoring these motherfuckers on, so, like, for real. If this shit is for entertainment purposes, just being entertained by this shit, most of these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they talking about. They don't.
Right.
They don't. They be a bunch of single motherfuckers, or they be in fucked up relationships their goddamn selves, or they just up here grifting. How do I know? You got motherfuckers like Chrissy and other motherfuckers who shall remain nameless and shit, but been up here spewing the same shit for the last 15 fucking years. Like, literally the same shit. Mindset ain't evolved in any damn way at all. Nobody
Look,
can
she
say,
came up.
Nope, nobody can ever say, look, I used to be on this shit, but now I kind of see things differently. I don't hear any of them saying that shit. Any of them. Any human being that's literally 15, like you telling me you 50 fucking years old, 47, 48 years old, and you've been on this bitch since you was 33. Okay? And your mindset has not changed at all. I mean, you can't tell me shit. Like, you can't tell me shit. You a stubborn motherfucker. Because I can tell you shit like, hey, I might have saw things one way 2, 3, 4 years ago, and now I see them differently. That's just they'll try to say, oh, well, you flip flopping. No, I'm fucking evolving as a fucking human being. I did some research, did some homework. I see things from a different perspective. I just, like, isn't that what human beings do?
Right. I think she was trying to evolve into, and I think just like Sinji, when they start getting the money and they can move up in lifestyle and stuff, that's a talking point too, right? The soft lifestyle or having the money at a certain, you know what I'm saying? So now they made it to that level. So a lot of other things don't necessarily count. Like, I believe both of them would have had to at some point in time have a baby and start to settle down to a family. And once that don't happen, only thing is to get the money and, you know, do what you do. So I think, you know, like you say, the progression.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the progression. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, you have to evolve, you have to grow into something, and to not take those growing steps is just like all you can do now is just get the money and try to remain an influencer.
And shout out to L Nixon. He said, being pro-black didn't pay enough, so they grifted. Facts.
There you go. and they settled comfortably into some nice change and a nice change in lifestyle. So
these algorithms they don't reward free forward thinking, and they damn sure don't they don't reward, evolution of the brain, like, for real. They don't. You got to be one way the whole way. That's the only way these that's primarily the only way these algorithms are going to reward you. With more viewers and pushing your content and all of that shit. Your content has to be exactly the way it was yesterday, exactly the way it was last year. Everything has to be the fucking same. If you're talking about something different than you were talking about last year, chances are you ain't getting no fucking traction.
I want to speak on divestors. I really, really just like I'm trying to use the nicest word I can, divestors. Um, I think they are some of the most hideous, ignorant ass black women on the fucking planet. And I think that they have a suicide mission, if I'm honest. I think they want to self destruct. They hate themselves so much that they walk themselves right into the population that hates them the most. And that's a fact. I saw a couple of things where this white dude was on this one that this black chick was dating or call herself being with. They showed some posts where he was saying all kind of stuff about ghetto black women this, black women that. A lot of generalizations and stereotypes. Um, and I think he was being honest. I think he was being honest. And whatever he feels about black women, he definitely feels about black men and black people in general. And I don't think that's unusual. These white men that will cross over, they're probably more likely than not, if they're actually willing to be with a black woman, they're more likely than not something's going on with them socially. Because I think that most white men who have status and money, they're going to look for them the so-called prize, which is the white woman. That's what they've been trying to do since birth: preserve the race and be with a white woman. It's the most natural thing to do. So going outside of their race in and of itself is already strange and unusual. So I would say that a divester is somebody who really hates themselves. You're going to walk yourself directly into the path of fire, um, with somebody who has been trained since time immemorial, historically speaking, who wants your demise. What sense does that make? And I'm gonna be a little racist here, but they have a pattern. These men, these white males, particularly older white males, they are some of the most destructive people on the planet. Donald Trump and a whole bunch of them. They like death. They celebrate death. They live for it, you know, and they have a history, historically speaking, of stealing, killing, and destroying. And why you think your little black ass is something special and an exception to the rule that they don't want to steal, kill, and destroy you, I don't understand what that's about. They historically don't have any white males don't have any history other than that, and you the opposite of them. They were born to destroy you. I'm just being real. It may sound extreme, but I'm just keeping it real.
I would say this.
Yeah,
Look,
I agree.
if you got that type of, it's like this. Look, if I was, let's say I were dating a white woman or whatever, you know, and let's say we just sitting there or whatever, and somebody just asked her, like, if they could just read her thoughts, like, out loud, and they say, "Why are you with him?" And she says, "Well, because white men ain't shit. That's why I chose him."
I'm thinking she gonna feed me the antifreeze, and she gonna feed me the antifreeze.
That would be her last day. That's how shallow you are. Is that you chose me because of what you didn't want over there, not because of what you wanted over here, but because what you don't want over there. So what I hear, and I've gotten kicked off out of divestors chats and shit like that, even Chrissy's before, when I tried to debate her and shit like that. With a lot of them divestors, it's like all of your content is about how bad black men are. Are you really divesting, or are you just playing the game of chicken? Same with these niggas. I would say the same, the passport bros and shit like that. Like, okay, you want to go over there because you claim how much better it is, but all I hear you talking about is how bad women are over here, primarily black women. So that makes no sense. Like, I couldn't imagine even being with a woman of another race and be like, oh, well, I'm with her just because, well, black women weren't shit. So, hey, guess I got to take what's left. Sorry. You know, who the fuck would want to be with me like that? So I'm like, as far as them divest, like, think about it. What self-respecting white dude would even want anything to fucking do with you if he knew that the only reason why you're with him is because black men aren't shit in your eyes? Come on. You know, you're going to want to be with somebody that's with you because you're the best option, not because every other option is bad.
Right.
Well, I had to be with somebody, and the other options are horrible, so I just picked this one. Oh well. Yep.
But the divestors are choosing somebody who historically doesn't like them. Historically, I'm just saying, when you look at the totality of it, that's what I'm saying is insane. So even if you try to say, well, black men are this and black men are that, well, if you look historically at who white males are, we're talking about apples and oranges here.
Yeah,
We're talking
but
about a grape versus a fucking watermelon. I'm just saying, I get what you're saying about don't
I
pick
would
me just because you're reacting against that. But I'm saying you still stupid as a woman who is black trying to say, oh, these brothers, they don't pay child support, they get on it, this and that. Compare that to somebody who likes to bomb people, people who have historically enslaved people, people who are always exploiting somebody. This is their mode of operation. You want to walk into the white civilization knowing that your destruction has always been the center of their survival. It doesn't make any sense racially, historically. I'm telling you, if I was single, I would date Indian men. I would date an Asian man. If I want to just be a diverse sister, I'd date a Latino man. There's one man on this planet that I would never, I'll date an Arab, an African. One man on this planet I would never touch with a 10-foot pole. And that's because of the history and the nature of them. So I'm just saying, you are a black woman, you don't want to deal with that. You self-destructive.
I agree.
I mean, I would say this much. I think people should judge each other on an individual basis. I've always said that. Now, I've primarily been with black women, over the course of my life, but I had some ain't shit fucking women I was with. And I've had some good women that I didn't necessarily do the right thing by. That shit happens. But no race of woman has ever had any monopoly on me. I'm gonna choose who the fuck I want to choose. I would say the same thing
No,
for women. Be with who the fuck you want to be with, regardless. But don't be with them, just because you felt like the other options were horrible. If it, hey, just like I say with politics, I'm
I
like,
mean, if you want to ignore the cultural and historical facts, go ahead. But I hear you.
I'm not ignoring the cultural and historical facts. I'm just saying, okay, you can look at the cultural and historical facts amongst quote unquote black men. That don't have a fucking thing to do with me because I'm an individual. Like none of it, whether you want to say it's good, whether you want to say it's bad, whether you want to say it's moderate, whatever, it has nothing to do with me because I am an individual and I move as an individual. You know, I'm just being real. So I wouldn't hold anybody else to that. Just like y'all would say, hey, white women have done this and they've cried wolf and all of this other shit. I wouldn't hold things that a few billion white women that have fucking died hundreds of years ago have done. I wouldn't hold a white woman accountable for that shit today. Same way I wouldn't hold a black woman accountable for what some black women might have did to me 20 years ago or 25 years ago or some shit like that. Like I judge people on an individual basis. I judge you based on who you are, not what your ancestors did, not what not what some people in fucking Europe or the Caucasus Mountains did 1,000 fucking years ago. I judge you on what the fuck you've done today, or over the course of your own life. Like I say, I'll hold you accountable for what you've done. I'm not gonna hold you accountable for what other people done. That's just me. But shout out to L Nixon, you know what I'm saying, with the $5 ball, looking out for you, boy. He said, in this space, people are Christian on Sunday, anti-black Tuesday, pro-black on Wednesday, kissing racist ass on Thursday, and with the fuckery on Friday. Man, shout out to L Nixon. We're gonna thank him for that.
Witness.
He has good super
The
chat.
C-walk. Incredible. Keep it gangster, dog. Keep it gangster. 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 I wanna thank you all. I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you all. I wanna thank you. Keep it gangster, dog. Keep it gangster. Keep it gangster, dog. Keep it gangster. The scene is a big. West side is a big.
Shout out to L Nixon, man. Appreciate that, bro. May said you got great super chats. Yeah, dog. But no, that's what it is, man. People don't know. People don't know. I had that conversation when I was on Is. I mean, they tried to say, oh, well, be careful. Black women have been marching for y'all and doing this and that and everything else. And we're the ones. I'm like, look, again, you don't know. An entire race of people are not shouldn't have a monopoly on anything because y'all move as individuals. I know too many black women to ignore the fact that you all ain't the same. You all don't think alike. You all don't act alike. You all don't move alike. Then on top of that shit, everybody has a right to change their mind. Like, we've all dated, we've been in relationships before. You ever like somebody and then you get to know them and then you don't? That shit happens. So that's what be bugging me out when they like, oh, that person just they lied to me and they switched up. No, a lot of times they liked you, they got to know you, then they didn't like you no more.
Have you ever still wanted to still try out the sex even though you don't want a relationship with them?
I plead the fifth.
What a man question. What a man question.
Plead the fifth. But I'm just saying, like, something, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's what it is, and I don't think that's gender specific either. That's men and women. Like, you get to know somebody and then you don't like them anymore. Like, that happens. Well,
right. I don't like them as in wanting to be responsible for them, wanting to claim them, that type of stuff.
So people assume, like, just because, you know what I'm saying, you get with somebody, you go on a couple of dates or you have a couple of conversations or whatever, and then all of a sudden the shit don't work out. Oh, that person switched up. It's like, nah, they either got to know you, or sometimes people just get like, a lot of times what happens is people get extremely comfortable because, when you like somebody, you get comfortable around them, and then your mask comes off. And then when they see the real you, they don't fucking like you.
Yeah. That's why I think it should be something greater in mind that y'all want to do, or something mutual, a greater goal, like a family, a marriage, something that it takes both of y'all to do. You need each other to do this. So that's,
Well, a lot of people don't understand that they're really not. Believe it or not, most people are not very likable. People are not likable, which means a lot of people aren't even lovable. Like, and a lot of folks don't want to admit that shit.
Auntie, you gotta defend that. You gotta defend that. Say most people are not likable and lovable. Come on now. You gotta explain that. Damn. Are you black pill? Golly.
Most people aren't. That's why I say, if you find the right person for you, and you're able to stay with them forever, man, consider yourself lucky. Like, consider yourself lucky. Because there really ain't supposed to be but so many. That's why I don't like these statistics and shit. When these motherfuckers come up and say, oh, well, 70% of women are not marriageable. What the fuck you worried about 70% of women for? You didn't grow, most of these motherfuckers, you ain't grow up in no polygamous society or none of that shit. You can only be with one woman at a fucking time anyway. So what the fuck you worried about 70% of 30 million motherfucking chicks? Or 100 million chicks or a billion fucking chicks? If you're lucky, you'll find one. Same with these women. Oh, well, the black men. The fuck, you don't know all the black men. You don't know them all. And if you did, most of them wouldn't even fuck with you. Let's keep it real. But there's probably, if you're lucky, there's going to be one out there that is willing to put up with your shit. Flaws and all. No?
Yeah.
Well, Auntie, I guess I'm just lucky then, because I like my husband. I like him, and I think he's the coolest motherfucker I ever met. Okay.
Smells like something just crawled in this fucking room and died every time you fart, bitch. Your steak tastes like goddamn cardboard. You can't fucking season it worth of fucking shit. Every time you fucking talk, after the longer motherfucker let you talk, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh,
One
wow.
out of a million motherfuckers might actually find that lovable about you.
Wow.
But most of us are going to be annoyed by you.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Wow.
I also understand that shit about me. Like, most women aren't going to be able to put up with me but so fucking long. But so long.
Yeah, you talking like that. I think I'd have 5 minutes, Auntie. Just 5 minutes. You kind of black pill.
I'm an exceptional person. So I'm gonna, like, only an exceptional woman is for me. Like, that's it. If I were a typical nigga, then a typical chick would be perfect for me. But there's nothing typical about me. I understand that. So basically, in these spaces, you're dealing with a lot of typical motherfuckers. A lot of typical motherfuckers. And no, they're not likable, they're not lovable, and that's why their relationships don't fucking work. is because they get attracted to a lot of other typical motherfuckers that aren't likable or lovable.
So what you think about this man, black man manosphere? What you think, in your opinion?
I know Auntie, you know what I mean? I know her pretty well. I know the aspects he comes from and what he's been through. And I big him up, you know what I'm saying? He know who he is and he's solid in that. So
Right, but do you find most women that you interact with, do you find them unlikable, unlovable, the ones that you interact with, if you're not married? I mean,
no, I mean, I'll try. My outlook is I'm trying to find something to like and love. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? I'm gonna be open for a woman to show me the best of her and to show me, how she gets along and, to be, laugh and smile and, be, kind of open. So, and I'm the same way. So I'm easy to get along with. I'm not pressing anything, not pushing or pulling. So, but I'm looking for a relationship though. So however we can do this relationship thing, then that's what I'm open to. So I may be a little different, you know what I'm saying? I may be a little bit more typical or just maybe simple.
Just like they said, look, I believe it like this. The way they say, like, you try to fit a square peg into a round hole and shit. Most people are the square or they're the circle. You know what I'm saying? The round. I'm more of like the hexagon / star, bro. Ain't no square or circle about to fit in there. Just is what it is. You know?
You're a little eccentric, I think. You have an eccentric kind of personality, which is what makes you good for social media, especially because you have an enthusiasm that naturally attracts people. So I could see that. I could see it. She's not gonna be the average chick. She's not gonna be the average.
I couldn't deal with that. But I'm just saying, I mean, look, people wonder why. It's like, oh well, these ain't shit niggas, they'll fuck any and everything. Yeah, they will. Because they typical niggas, and more often than not, you're probably a typical chick. Typical average chick. That's why so many other chicks can just take your place from time to time on any given fucking night. Real shit. That's why niggas that'll just fuck anything that walks will fuck with you. And people don't want to admit that. It's easier to just point your fingers at the next. Oh, that nigga ain't shit. He'll fuck anything that walks. I know I had plenty of men cheat on me. Yeah. Because you were easily fucking replaceable. And I would say the same thing about a lot of these niggas. It's no different. It's no fucking different. But when people know that they got a 5-carat diamond, they're not gonna risk losing that shit for multiple 1-carat diamonds or cubic zirconias. It's that simple.
That's why I believe man should get.
Because a 5-carat diamond is worth so much, because you ain't never selling no 5-carat diamond. The shit's just so rare, you ain't gonna find it nowhere else. But let's just keep it real. A lot of these people just don't want to admit you're not that fucking rarity. You're not. You're typical motherfucker. That's why a lot of these people are able to find the same algorithms and shit and have the same conversation with the same motherfuckers every day for years.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just like each other.
I agree with you. Auntie. I think that there's social media and the media in general, the Hollywood, I would call it the Hollywoodization of the average motherfucker. Everybody thinks they're so special, especially the younger generations. They think they're doing something that everybody needs to see and everybody cares about, and they're breaking barriers and they're going to beat it. A lot of people have gotten very inflated. And the reality, it just kills me. I'm doing a stream later about, and I don't really stream. I'm just, little something, but I'm going to be cooking and stuff. And I'm doing a stream and I'm going to talk about looks. Because I heard some shit the other day. People are going on and on about looks and attractiveness. And I'm like, everybody's fucking average. What are we talking about here? But you'll notice that in these conversations, especially gender conversations, dating conversations, everybody thinks they're a fucking 10. What is that? Everybody's fucking average. I mean, for the most part, what are we talking about? Average people date average people. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
And shout out to
I'm
L
sorry,
Nixon.
I didn't mean to talk. I didn't mean to talk over your super chat. I wasn't looking
No,
at my phone. My bad.
it just came in. Now shout out to L Nixon, you know what I'm saying, who is now officially our show sponsor. Sherry Berry had looked out earlier, but L Nixon just overtook it. He said, hey, most people in relationships are cheating on you with past trauma and experiences. You're actually the side piece because they refuse to move on. And believe it or not, a lot of these people, especially the ones that you see in these spaces that claim to be in these healthy fucking relationships, the ones that claim that shit, they really just cheating on you with their fucking smartphone and their smart device and with these chat boxes and shit and these panels. Yeah. Fucking shame, isn't it? Fucking shame. And they don't want to admit that shit. For real. They take that shit personally when I tell them, hey man, go outside, touch grass, slap ass, clap ass, whatever fuck you got to do, but get the fuck off the internet. Go do something. Sitting up here, adding to the trauma bonding cult and shit. That shit's not. It's not gonna get you nowhere. You know. And oh well, it's the men. Oh, but it's the women. Oh, but it's the men. Oh, but it's the women. No, bitch, it's you. Like I couldn't put that on an entire gender or an entire demographic or anything. Now I'm like, that's y'all motherfuckers, man. For real. And I know a lot of people will be like, yeah, but look at all of the examples. Nah, y'all are just a bunch of motherfuckers that happen to be a lot alike.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of mental illness, a lot of people are crazy, a lot of people needing love, self-esteem. I could see it all. I come from the Black community, so I could see it clearly.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just easier to point your fingers at and not y'all in particular, but it's easier for people to point their fingers at other people than it is to just be like, look, what about myself can I improve? You know? Can I be a little nicer? Can I be a little more understanding? Can I get my money up? Can I go in the gym? Can I drop a couple of pounds? Can I fucking, I don't know, get in a fucking tub and take a fucking shower? You know? Like real shit. You know?
Right.
Let's keep it real. You got motherfuckers on this bitch that probably can count on one hand the amount of goddamn baths they took in 2026. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet they up here talking about women all fucking day.
Oh, those are signs of depression.
Yeah, I said that too. I'm not alone in that. The people complaining all day, every day. Yeah, that's depression.
Well, and especially
when you don't take a shower, when you don't consistently bathe, or keep yourself up, those are all signs of depression.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a therapist or a doctor or any of that shit. I just say get the fuck off the internet because this shit will add to your depression. I don't see how being around these people will make you like how that shit is supposed to fix depression. Yeah, it might be a dopamine rush or whatever, but none of these topics are very like that. They're not designed to
uplift you.
Yeah, to uplift you. Exactly.
Empower.
They're not designed for that. They're designed. Even if you listen to what Chrissy is saying and what a lot of people are saying, they try to use this shit, this thing just to keep fueling their narrative about how fucked up black men are toward black women. I'm like, bro, there's not a black man in sight for this. Like there's not there's no black man that has anything to do with this situation right here at all. Is it tragic? Absolutely, it's tragic. And like I said, my empathy goes out to her family and loved ones. I hope they get the closure that they're entitled to, that they deserve. And I hope justice goes to where it's supposed to go. But at the same time, I'm not going to use that shit to fuel any narrative other than everybody should be a better judge of character and don't judge a book by its cover. For real, everything that glitters ain't gold, man.
Yeah. I wasn't laughing at them. I was just laughing at it. Just I was thinking that even if a black man is not in a woman's life, she can still be blaming a black man. You know what I'm saying? Black man is not nowhere around doing nothing positive or negative or anything, and he can still be the blame.
Well, of course. I mean, that's the way it works. I mean, but as black men, we understand that shit too. Like we done been the mud sill of society ever since society has existed. That's so we don't like what you expect that shit to just change tomorrow because you want it to. You expect to create some algorithm on the internet and that shit's gonna change. It's not gonna. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. Most of us just understand that shit, and all you can do is you can live and move as an individual. You know, you can't really, perpetuate it. I mean, look, I've said it like this. I've had, I've had situations with that. People I done split with, don't even fuck with. You know, whether that shit is in business or intimate relationships and shit. Years later, blaming me for the situation that they in right now, and I'm like, bro, you want to hold me accountable for the shit for the shit I've done? Cool, you got that. But don't try to hold me accountable for the shit you've done. Like, what the fuck?
Or didn't do.
Yeah. What up, V-Dub?
What's poppin', folks? Hey, man, you know
Hey,
what I'm up here to
V-Dub.
say. How you doing, sis? I love my black women's. But Auntie, I don't know how you went through dealing with the divestment and didn't come out like a little bit changed. I came out changed as a mother. I just ain't tolerating that stuff that Chrissy's doing, the way some of these people talk. I just ain't got time for it anymore. I'm just really over it.
I feel you, V-Dub. As far as how I deal with divest, I don't. Like, what the fuck does a divester have to do with me? Ain't no. If you're a true divester, what the fuck you want to do with me?
Yeah, well, the problem is that they say they divest, but as you said earlier, all they talk about is black men. Like, what are you divested from? Then they be like, black men in Blackistan. And I'm like, okay, but you said there wasn't no fathers in the house. So who made Blackistan? Like, where is the origin story at? Because it couldn't have been us. We wasn't in the house. That's what you told me. So you created these niggas, and now you blaming us for these niggas that you created. That makes no sense to me. But listen, if they want to be mad, angry, and they want to go separate, by all means, do what you got to do. Like I said, I date out. If something happened to me, I don't need none of you niggas online. I don't need no protests. I don't need none of that shit. Just let me be buried. That's it. Fuck all that extra shit.
I noticed what Christy is trying to say on her video. She's like, well, and it's the same narrative that she's always been trying to spew, and that's that the system does not protect black women at all. The system, it's not just black men, but it's the entire system. Black women are, it's like, look. That's why I say this is a one-off. This is an individual. That woman made the decision, made her own decision as an individual to be with not just a man, not just a white man, but this man, this white man. And she chose to go to Tanzania with this crazy motherfucker.
Oh yeah, y'all was talking about the class thing earlier. Homeboy wasn't always rich. He did make his bank off of that crypto shit. Like he got banked. He put his money in at the right time, and then he got other white folks put their money in. So he had 100 million or something like 2 years ago, and then he lost all that last year. So dude is actually almost broke. What'd you say?
He's new money.
Yeah, he's new money. So he's
instant money. He ain't even new. He's instant money.
Right, he crypto fat, and as quick as it came, it's as quick as it went. I mean, he might still have some residuals enough to go to Tanzania or whatever. But homeboy is losing his money. Have y'all not seen Bitcoin and the rest of them?
Society can only come up with but so many laws to protect the stupid.
Right.
And they come up with a lot of them these days. A lot of them.
And another thing, Chrissy didn't point out, right? My fault.
No, at some point, like that's why I say people need to be held accountable for their own damn decisions. And it's a shame that woman had to lose her life. Like it's bad, but that's the lesson that need to be learned by not just black women, but all fucking women and men included. Anybody can off your ass, man. I'm telling you, if you are going to fall asleep and wake up next to somebody every goddamn day and every night for the rest of your motherfucking life, you better trust that motherfucker, man. with your life. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you was like Chrissy was kind of skewing the numbers because she's saying black women are unalived by their partners, but that she didn't break down whether that's male or female. She just said unalived by their black partner. So we considering studs men?
Well, this stat right here was like 97% of black women survivors of abuse don't
Don't
believe
believe. Keywords we learned in English.
by police or support services if they reported their experience. And I'm like, to be honest, who gives a fuck? What the fuck? Because you haven't
That's
said whether
irrelevant.
that shit's true or not. Like it's just what the fuck you believe. That's not a fact. Those are assumptions. So, give me some facts. I don't give a fuck what you believe.
97% of black American men believe that an encounter with the police might lead to an arrest or death.
You feel me? But what is that? But
is that the truth?
But it's usually the other way around, right?
Yeah. I mean, I talk to cops. I get away with tickets and shit all the time, so I don't have that issue.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, it's a way to skew the data and the numbers, and then you have somebody like a Sergeant Willie P. Who's
that all I want. It doesn't make it the truth. So
yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not true, but come with some real stats. If anything, this is not a real stat. You just polled some people, and it's 90% of people have this opinion. Big fucking deal. But according to Chrissy and a lot of these other people online, what they're saying is, look, it's your job, society, especially black men, to make us feel better. Bullshit. First of all, I ain't trying to make you ain't my motherfucking woman. I don't give a fuck how you feel. Real shit. I'm too busy trying to make my woman feel good. Why the fuck I give a fuck about how you feel? And if you got a problem with the fact that men aren't making you feel good, I again get you one. Because to be honest, why the hell should anybody, any man, give a fuck about how a single woman believes that men are treating her?
Well, if she was my sister, maybe.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. If she's your sister, she's your cousin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's different.
Outside of that parameter, like what do we have?
But I'm just like, there's no, the only, and I'm gonna ask May because she's the only woman up here. Outside of your husband, what other man on earth has an obligation to make you feel secure, or protected, or empowered?
Just my husband and my dad. That's it.
Okay. But okay, so outside of your husband, your dad, there's no other man that should feel that burden or that obligation.
He should feel required.
Yeah.
Not required. No, no. I do have expectations for like my male neighbors. Like they have wives, but my male neighbors, I expect them to help me like they would help my husband as a human. You know what I'm saying? Just basic human. I expect that from anybody for the most part. You see me flailing on the ground and I'm, medically hurt. I expect human compassion. But as far as a requirement, particularly because I'm a woman and I want to feel safe, my husband and my dad.
That's it.
Well, you don't like New Yorkers, and we walk over dead bodies. So I don't know.
That's right.
Don't get hurt in New York talking that bullshit.
That's how it is in New York. I'm just saying, like, and this is a married woman that's telling you, like, fuck out of here, bro. You ain't got no man. You ain't entitled to nothing from no man. And I would say this, we say this shit to these dudes all the fucking time. You ain't got no woman, so you ain't entitled to shit from no woman.
Shit, I got in a fight with my ex-wife's brother because of some disrespectful shit he was doing in the house. I mean, we gonna protect who we gonna protect when we need to protect them, but I'm not doing that shit for no random chick outside the house. Then I get murked, and you back with the nigga like, oh, you going to put money on his commissary? Like, get out of here. I'm good. Keep it.
Now, I got into an argument with a woman I was dating before about that because she tried to tell me about things that I needed to change or be different with around her father and her brother. I was like, fuck out of here. That bullshit. I'm your man. Like, fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck. But like, your father need to either understand that shit or fuck it, you go over there with them. You know, that's just the way that shit's going to fucking be. I ain't gonna fucking change a goddamn thing. All he needs to know, as far as I'm concerned, is that his daughter is safe. Okay, she's safe. I mean, nobody over here abusing her, any of that other shit. But as far as, you know, the way that I speak and all of that, fuck all that. Okay. If there's anything else, you know, if you need your father's validation that much, I suggest you go with him.
Word.
But your father, your brother don't run a fucking thing over here. Nothing. And I'll tell them that.
Shit, my daughter is 22 and she knows how to shoot. She got a dude.
But it was funny too because I never had any issues with her father and her brother. Never.
Well,
Only
real
issue-
recognize real. So
Yo,
if you come in real, Pop's gonna be like, all right, I see this nigga.
basically,
You know, brother
bro,
might just say the same
it
thing.
was always fucking respectful, bro. It was always respectful.
Yeah, see,
You know?
my ex-wife's brother wasn't real. That was a bitch ass nigga. You know the bitch niggas you was talking about being raised earlier? You gave it a bitch nigga, he gonna whoop you like a bitch nigga. That was the nigga. So I had to get on his ass. You know, sometimes you gotta put hands on a nigga. Yo, calm down. She ain't under your protection no more. Calm down, you know? Some people ain't with it. Hold on.
But hey, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, look, they try to make it seem like it's a strictly black woman issue or anything like that. You know, if we want to go in, like if these numbers are like overwhelmingly as far as femicide and all of this other shit, you know, domestic violence, whatever the fuck you want to call it, if they're just disproportionately affecting black women or whatever, there's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah, the number one stat was in Africa. You didn't see the chart? Pull that chart back up. It was like Africa, all the way like 76%. America was like, yeah, it looked like America's war budget compared to everybody else. Africa, it seems to be an issue. How about that? May can help you. Somalis,
I mean,
Nigerians set women on fire.
Even if the reasons for it, there are reasons for it. I mean, at the end of the day, in America, there really ain't no arranged marriages and arranged relationships like that. So that's what I mean. Like, you should really leave those stats where the fuck they are, especially when you're choosing your partner. Because if the only options that you have are risking your life and or your health, your physical well-being and shit, or being alone, why the fuck would you choose being alone every single fucking time?
I love my solitude.
That's all I'm saying. So, but I would tell you this much, you know, and that's when I got to go back to what Princella said, you know, on her video or whatever. A lot of these women, you know, do want a bitch ass nigga. They want an effeminate fucking man. They want a woman in a man's body. And then when they end up with a bitch that handles shit like a bitch, now all of a sudden they're victims.
Okay, so May is a Southern woman. Can you give me an explanation of why a lot of these Southern men from like North Carolina on down is beginning to go skiing in the snow?
Well, I mean, bro,
I'm just saying. I want her opinion.
I can't speak for other dudes. I can't speak for other dudes. I can just
you.
I see a lot of women with their PTSD and shit when they talk about previous relationships, why they can't find a man. And I might have a conversation on a panel. I just hear the things they say, and it's like, or even if I see the example of the dude that they were dealing with, I'm like, you was dealing with a bitch nigga. Like, you were literally dealing with an effeminate fucking man because they handle shit in ways like women handle shit, you know? And a lot of them just move like, and not even just like women, like they just handle shit like bitches. You know what I'm saying? They come up here on, you know what I'm saying? They be on social media, chatty patty and shit the fuck up more so than women do. like more so than women do. They throw fucking temper tantrums and shit. They gossip and shit like that. They'll fucking argue and go back and forth with women, not even just on the internet. They'll go back and forth with your ass in the goddamn house. The men that I was fucking raised around, like my grandfathers and shit, they ain't argue with no goddamn with my grandmothers. And they wasn't any less masculine or any of that shit. They just didn't bother. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I give you my perspective as a Southern woman. I think a lot of things are happening in the South that are different. And when you ask that question, V-Dub, are you talking about rural particularly, or are you talking about the city, or both?
I'm talking
In the
about
South.
more. I seen it more beginning to happen in the rural areas where you believe like the dudes wear white sheets at night, which I was in a place where the dudes did wear white sheets, but the ratio of black man to white woman was astronomical. Like the whole entire area is like that now, and it's just the young
Yeah.
people. It's not the older people. It's just the younger people. All the babies are mixed now. Like the whole town
Yeah,
is gonna
yeah.
be different in a generation. That whole town is gonna be either mixed or like dying old white folks.
Yeah. This is true. I think there's a reason why, particularly in the rural area, what I see in the South, because like I'm gonna be honest with you, V-Dub, I had a meltdown about this about 10 years ago. Every cousin I have is with a white woman, has children with a white woman. Not one of them. I have like 8, 9 male black rural cousins, and not one of them had a black child. So the whole generation looks Mexican. If I'm honest, they look Mexican. They do not look clearly black. And I found it very disturbing. I couldn't understand that. But what I realized in the rural area is that the racial dynamics have changed. Like those white women, they like hip hop music, they like black culture, and their racist granddaddy is not going to talk them out of that. And I also think that white males have a tendency to be very what they are, and I think white women see them more clearly. I was talking
Mm-hmm.
about this earlier. I know Auntie believes that everybody's an individual, but there's a certain culture that white males have, and I think white women fear it. And I think that's what pushes them away. They see black men the way I see black men, which are compassionate and loving, and historically that's all they've ever been, historically speaking. Black men don't have a history of genocide, selling arms, bombing people. Black men don't do any of those destructive things. Um, and I think that white women want that for themselves. They want the partnership of men of color because they see that compassion, that love. They don't see these these demonic behaviors. I'll give you a perfect example. Jim Bob, who works in Kentucky at the chicken factory, he gets fired, and guess what he does? He gets in his car, his pickup truck, and he goes and he shoots Mima, and he shoots. You understand?
Yeah.
Brothers really don't do that. So it's the love and compassion that they are seeing, which is why we know society demonizes black men. There's a reason why white women are chasing black men. It's a reason. They're rejecting their own men for a reason.
Well,
And it's
that's a
media. It's
trend.
media.
That's a new trend on TikTok that I advise people to go look at. Even the Africans are talking about it, which is weird as hell. But yeah, we don't didn't wasn't it just a white dude who set that toilet paper factory on fire? $600 million or something in damages.
They've been doing stuff like that, bombing shit and blowing up stuff and shooting everybody in the school and the church. They've been doing that. Ain't nothing new. It's just that nobody's allowed to talk about it because we got to be individuals.
I mean,
Well,
I would still consider it, an individual thing. But I mean, hey, I'm not gonna bullshit like it's not a pattern. Some of the most violent, cruel atrocities over the course of documented history have been committed by white folks. White men and their fucking women. Like that's what it is. But keep in mind, that's documented history. Um, you know, so even when you want to go back to things like slavery and shit like that, all races of people have either have both been enslaved and had slaves.
Well, I have to say this. When can we say, when we let's just look at black men, just black men.
And I'm
Where
just
can we
saying,
say that black men have collectively, where have black men collectively done genocide? Where have you seen it? Where have black men just collectively decided we're going to bomb and just do stuff to people? We're going to mess with people. We're going to arm others and get them to kill each other and scheme and steal. When have black men ever done that historically? When?
the
As a
dark age,
collective?
the dark ages.
That too.
I don't believe you.
The
I don't believe you.
See
Moors.
what I'm saying? You might want to study some history.
Yeah, no, the Moors were very brutal.
That's what I'm saying. Where you think a lot of these white folks learned that shit from? Colonization and all of that other shit. Like,
Really? Black men taught them to be like that?
All
Really?
right, technically, May, let's talk about it.
we didn't
Let's
just
give
teach
historical
hygiene,
facts.
medicine, and mathematics. We also taught them colonization too.
We started in 769 in Europe, right? Then we went to 1492 and we finally got expelled out of it. And by that time, they had all the education, the knowledge, the math, the wisdom, the boat building, how to take a dude's wife and his kingdom all at one time, do the inheritance. That's where you get Queen Isabella and Ferdinando and all of these other things. And after that, it was the fall of Songhai, Timbuktu, and the wave of black people and the Muslim Arab religion that black people took on that came down and swooped into Africa and damn near destroyed the knowledge in Timbuktu to where they're still digging up books that were buried because the Arabs were coming to
To be
burn
honest,
everything.
I mean, if you really want to dig deeper, you can go further
Y'all
back
still
than
can't point to me when no black men collectively didn't destroy and did all the still killing and destroying. Y'all still ain't pointing that out.
Umayyad Caliphate. You can study it. It's called the Umayyad Caliphate. Starts with a U.
I'm just saying it's not a bad thing. That's just fucking mankind. That's the course of history. I know a
I ain't
bunch of
buying
that.
it. I ain't buying it.
The
It's
thing is,
written. It's
a lot of
written.
people assume that documented history is the only history that exists.
Right.
You got to
That's why
keep
the
in mind,
books.
but before all of this documented history, like that's what conquerors did. They burned all of your fucking books and your history and shit when they took your shit over. That's what they did. That's why it's not
Well,
documented. Wiped out all
Aries,
trace.
I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, just like she said, pillaging whole villages, and yeah, for real.
I
So
was going to respond to Aries and say, yes, there was basic warfare a lot of times between tribes. That's not unusual. That's human history. Native Americans have done that. People are territorial. Don't do this because this is our tribal area. I'm not talking about they never killed anybody. I'm talking about just a whole demonic spirit that everywhere they go, they destroying people, killing people on purpose and taking and stealing and taking and stealing. And everywhere they go with everybody, they interact like that. I have not historically heard of any black culture that is like that. And when I say black culture, I mean particularly black men. Now, if y'all want to demonize black men and say that that's y'all nature, then you choose that, but I don't.
No, I'm not saying it's our nature. I'm saying it's a certain group.
Yeah, I'm not going to demonize them any more than I would just demonize mankind over the course of history. It's how things are done. But to think that white men just invented this shit, that's giving
Nah,
them
they
too much
didn't.
fucking credit.
Sicily, the whole
It's just giving
of
them too
Sicily.
much fucking credit. Those motherfuckers couldn't even come up with that concept on their own. They had to take that from black folks too.
I'm
You
not
know?
You
giving
guys
them
got
credit. I'm just telling y'all the nature, the way we might have had slavery in Africa, but it wasn't the type that they do. You see what I'm saying?
no.
The
So
slavery they had in
May,
Africa had a
May,
whole different nature. Let me just finish
May.
saying this. The
Yeah.
slavery they had in Africa was understood that you were a prisoner of war, and therefore you will serve this particular clan or whatever for a period of time, and you are not naturally a non-human because you are in this status. You still a human being, and you still have certain rights. They did not apply that at all.
Well,
Chattel
they didn't
slavery
come
was
from
something
that.
different.
They didn't come from that. So before the Muslims got there in 762, there was the Goths, the Visigoths, the Gauls, and the early Germanic people, and they were all warring against each other. That's how you got Rome coming in and knocking down the Visigoths and the actual barbarians, because that's what they were called. But they had a barbaric nature. So actually, what black men did at that point in time was kind of like conquer and civilize. That's why they believe they're civilization, but they were civilized prior to the black. I mean, they were uncivilized prior to the black man being there. I mean, they went from the cave to the Visigoths and then the Anglos and the Saxons. I mean, you can go through the historic thing. The first Catholic church, the first Roman Catholic church, the second one that's in Istanbul or Constantinople, whatever you want to call it. Like, they had their little civilizations that grew. Rome was dead. They were. It was factioned. They were barbaric as hell.
The fact of the matter is, black folks done created everything on fucking earth. Good shit and bad shit.
Sounds like God to me.
All of it is a derivative of black folks. So we ain't gonna take credit for just the good shit, the good innovation. Nah, even the bad shit, everything that made human society what it is here from black folks. So you got to take the bad with the good.
Okay.
And
Well, Auntie, why don't we act like that still then? Why aren't we these highly destructive, demonic people? Why, if that came from us, why are we not acting like that now? A lot
Because
of
it
this is
comes with a
continued
cost.
behavior. With these white folks, it's continued behavior. It's not like just in the past. They still doing it.
well, they're
No,
doing that to maintain their status in modern day society. They're just holding on to it for dear life. But hey, one thing that even documented history has taught us is that all empires fall, and they see theirs crumbling right now. So they're doing everything they can to hold on to it.
and let me give you another aspect. They have only had about 800 or so years of this power, and we might have had a couple thousand years of this power. At some point in time, you got to be like, we know what the outcome is. Like, you need to chill. We can make this world a better place. We could be on some Star Trek shit if all of you people just calm down. But nope, everybody wants to fight, and the Africans and everybody else want to join in. But at some point in time, after 1,000, 2,000 years, you got 800 years, which means, according to our time and the way that mathematics works in deduction, they should be able to figure this out in the next 250 years. But we've had, what, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 years to get it right? Yeah. There's going to be mistakes here and there, but we've always been tribal, so I don't know why no Pan-African unity, one unified black people. No, we were the first tribes, and we haven't stopped. That's why you have Bloods and Crips, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we've always been tribal. We're going to continue to be tribal, just like you don't like New York. Some things in the South I don't like.
Here
But
you
know
go.
what?
Here you go.
Gator bites is good. I'm just saying. I won't fuck with a possum, but some of y'all down here would.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny. We don't fucking eat possum down here. Don't try it, B-Dub.
Look, I'm just
Don't
saying.
fucking try it.
Look, I'm throwing shots. I got to throw shades. I got to throw real quick. But you get the premise. You get the premise, right? The niggas in Cali don't be wearing Timberlands and baggy jeans because it ain't cold in Cali.
I got
You get
you.
it?
I got
We
you.
different. We blacks here in America are tribal. We still a kinfolk. We still are bonded by the fact that we had let's use Tariq's word, ethnogenesis. I told y'all niggas that 10 years ago. Ethnogenesis, to where we all bonded some way, somehow. Master mixed in. Some niggas from Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. Motherfuckers done spread like a virus, because that's what they called us in the Matrix, right? A virus. We done spread like a virus across this whole thing and influenced every last person on the globe, not just here in America.
Agreed. Now let me ask you something, Doug, real quick, because you asked me the question. Now, why do you think these white women is chasing y'all down in the South? Why you think?
You want me to tell you what they told me? Because
Yeah, let's hear it.
I dabble in the snow. Is that the
Yeah, I
white
know.
dudes they either ain't got no swag, or secondly, they fear what they may do to like children or some shit like that. That's the secondary thing. But the first thing is like they don't have like, again, the compassion, the care, the consideration. I don't even know how some of us can think and remember, because I smoke a hell of a lot of ganja, but I still understand what my girl wants. You know what I'm saying? I know she like banana now and ladies. Like, who the fuck likes that? But I know she likes that shit. And every time I go see her, I got like 3 of them shits in my pocket, and I just be popping them out. Ooh, I got that. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain shit we do because we've mastered the art of love, as opposed to mastering the art of procreating and fucking like making another generation of people that hate other people and be successful and, you know, dominate. We're not thinking about the dominance of the world. We're
Right.
like the original hippies.
Well, what is
The
mastering
vibe is
the
different. I
art
get it.
of love? What is that?
Oh, I got something coming out for y'all real soon about mastering the
No,
art of
I
love
want
and
to read
sex.
a book.
No, I'm not revealing the techniques. Hey, look, the game is to be sold, not to be told.
Hey
Well,
man, I
you
need
can
that
try
seasoning because
that
I'm
with
cooking
me, but I
seafood,
ain't
boy.
said
You late.
one.
I know you
Yeah, I
asking
seen
me
it.
Actually,
what.
Nah, you don't.
I'll
My
tell you I ain't said bitch, but I'm trying to be nice.
Well, I
Oh,
don't know
and
why you want to be all that. While I'm being delicate with you, you
doesn't
shouldn't want to be a bitch with a brother
channel.
that's loving
I'm
and
not.
speaking to you with that kind
Well, all
gentleness
that
that a black man
motherfucking
does.
over
But I know
talking
you a little
ain't
bit
gonna
tough.
get you
You want to
What
nowhere.
stand
happened?
upside the head.
Shut the fuck up！每次开会都不提前通知，我都快到家了才知道 news，干嘛？你是要打游击啊？你要是有什么事情，你可以请假，你这样不开 news，你什么意思啊 ？Shut the fuck up！我是牛马吗？下班时间还要给你请假？Shut the fuck up！Shut the fuck up！Shut the fuck up！It's my shit。Shut the fuck up！Shut the fuck up！Shut the fuck up! Break the remix on! Shut the fuck up! 你要是有什么事情，你可以请假。Shut the fuck up! 可以108的英文字。Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck
up! I am the representative of shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Ever look like a person, it would be me. But he was just up here just blabbing and blobbing, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to listen and hear his point, but he ain't never got to a point other than
Were you listening, man?
And I'm full of shit. I ain't finna do a motherfucking thing. What do you do? Are you married?
I can be a laxative or enema. Which one you want?
I like animals. Let's go.
I ain't say nothing about no animals. I said I could be a laxative or an enema.
I don't give a fuck about a laxative.
No, because I'm about to talk my shit.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
you
asking.
sound like it. You. Oh Lord, I'm.
You said, am I married? You said, am I married?
Oh, your booty hole. You talking about
whoa, mama, what you talking? I'm talking about my mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said, sir. I didn't say it to you.
Yeah, I'm not talking about booty hole. Again, you're not listening. Ain't you working on the highway?
Yep.
I hope you're not driving, is you?
If I'm working on the highway, how the fuck can I be driving?
After you get off.
I do what I want.
Don't worry. Okay. Yeah. So don't worry about the way I speak, because I speak how I want to. I mean, I think that's what you was getting at, is I'm talking shit that you didn't comprehend, understand, or really consider. Because you came up here asking questions that verify that you didn't understand, comprehend, and consider.
Made me a little nervous. How you know my motherfucking business?
I don't know your business. I can tell from your presentation what your business might be.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm with the shits in these streets. This ain't the purge, but something can leave.
But I'll be your last. I can guarantee
that. It ain't that good, sweetie. There's plenty more out here in these streets.
No, it's
no. Maybe my shit went out again. Maybe it went out. It might be me, but this little punk motherfucker right here.
Chill out, Jerry. Coffee and chill and be up here for a few more minutes. So we're gonna keep it respectful and one mic at a time. One mic at a time.
You know what? She can have the stage. I hope she don't swerve off it.
I don't need no stage. I don't want no stage. I'm just telling you, you sounding like a punk ass little motherfucking nigga that up here trying to show somebody who you are, what you doing, and you ain't doing shit. You just okay. All right. I'll be good. I'll be good. But
Thank you.
really,
May the Alchemist says great combo, Auntie. We appreciate that. Thank you, May. You know, with the $10 super chat, $9.99. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. So now, as far as why white women are going toward black men and black women are going toward white men, like this is not something that's new. I think people just see this shit a little bit more since it's on people have social media now. That's it. But like both black women have been sought after by white men. White men been wifing them up, all that shit for a long time. You go as far back as the mid 1900s and shit like that, during the prohibition, after it and shit like that. And the same rules apply with black men and white women. Like that shit is not new. So I want to know why everybody's making it seem like these are some like new movements or some shit like that.
are not the popular thing anymore.
White folks have always been trying to get a piece of
But that was back in the day. Back in the day, you remember back in the day when a man would tell you, be mad if I get with a white woman. No, white women ain't searching for y'all like that. I live here. I live right the fuck down here. And they ain't going for you niggas. White dudes is going for black girls and black women is
I would respectfully disagree. Look, I've never had a problem. White women have been just as fucking aggressive when it comes to dating or approaching as any other race of women has been. I mean, when it comes to me or any other fucking man or black man or whatever. Like when that's a woman thing. Like when people try to narrow this shit down by fucking race and all of that other shit. Look, for the most part, an attractive dude is going to be an attractive dude to all races of fucking women, and the same rules apply with women. An attractive woman is going to be an attractive woman to all races of fucking men. And when motherfucker wants some shit, he gonna go get it, or at least try to. So stop with the bullshit. Facts. Thank you, Wacky. Both Caucasian males and females have been approaching so-called black males and females. Why do people want to make it seem like this isn't the case? Because it doesn't keep up with the same narrative that's been expressed. I can go back as far as fucking middle school, motherfucker. Like, there's been all races of girls, and then as I got older, it was all races of women. It just really depends on where the fuck I am. But ain't no woman, straying away. If they like what they see, they coming for it. They don't give a fuck. So all of that whole divester movement and shit like that, and SYSBM and all that bullshit, man. Y'all making shit up. None of that shit is new. None of it's new. I'm just saying. Also, why do people give a fuck about who other people choose to sleep with? That's a good question too. I've been saying that. I'm like, man, hey, do what the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. I damn sure don't give a fuck what some woman that's not my woman is doing with her goddamn body, her brain, and her time. I could fucking care less. That was a question that was posed to me on Big J's panel, the other day. Like, oh, so you don't care? It's like, nah, I really don't. Like, I don't give a fuck about what some Instagram thought chose to do with her fucking time in Tanzania or what the fuck ever. Like, I could really care less. Tragic, yes. Do I have empathy as far as her family goes in that situation and shit like that? Because hey, You got loved ones that are still here. They deserve, that type of closure. But that's really as far as that shit goes. I don't have any more empathy for that situation than I would if it was, a black man that she was with. I don't have any less either. It's just a tragic situation. Sorry we had to hear about it. Sorry it had to happen like that. But this is not a racial thing. I don't think.
Auntie, can I hurry up and get this out before my phone go out? If black men keep putting down black women, and y'all are supposed to be the leaders, protectors, and all that stuff, but y'all constantly degrade everything we do, what other race of men is supposed to respect us? Okay, my phone might go out, but
now I would say this as look, as a no race is respected as a race. Like, that's it. Like, respect is fucking earned. It's either going to be earned as a group, which means you got to be a cohesive unit anyway. So if we want respect as a group or as a demographic, we got to start moving as a group. And for the most part, black folks in America don't even move as a fucking group. I can tell you that. Just by the way motherfuckers move online. I don't move like a bunch of these niggas online.
I really don't. Just like a politician.
I'm sorry?
You talking just like a politician. You skipped right over my question. What I'm saying is, other groups of men, like of culture, whether people believe it or not, black people have one of the strongest cultures in America there is. And I don't know why these children don't believe they have a strong culture. You have a culture. But if our men is constantly, let me put it like this. If Africa had a group of women just like us, do you think they would be drilling and doing all the stuff that them other folks do in that country?
They actually have that all over Africa. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I mean, I'll show you right here. This is a stat that Chrissy pulled up. Rate of women deleted by partner or family member per 100,000 person population. Africa is twice as high as Americans. You know what I'm saying? Which is the closest to it, and almost 3 times higher than any other nation. So now, as far as as far as when you're talking about deletions, keep in mind, United States, we have the Second Amendment over here, so deletions are naturally going to be pretty fucking high. When it comes to that, when people can legally own fucking firearms and all types of fucking.
People say Africa, they talk about Africa as if it's a country. Africa is a whole continent.
No, everything on this chart is a continent.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that part. I'm sorry. So I can't argue with you. I'm just saying
Europe, Asia, Oceania, and the Americas. So that includes.
Oh, okay. I see it.
South America, Central America,
Asia, They need to raise that. They need to change that, because Asian men can be very violent. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they also make them go through psychiatric evaluations before they can own a handgun. Over there. So, their Second Amendment is, they don't have the Second Amendment like we do in the United States of America, for example. So, it's a lot of different, things, like as far as their way of life is concerned, that speak to like the rise and the spikes when it comes to violence and shit. So, just Just think about that. But just I mean, with what you were saying, look, as far as a race and a demographic is concerned, I look, I don't even see why even black folks, but especially black men, would even give a fuck about how they're viewed amongst other races. Because I mean, if you anyone, there's nobody living today that knows a world where black people, if not black men in particular, have not been the mudsill of fucking society. Like, you don't know a fucking world other than that. So what the fuck do you expect? Like, this is what the fuck man has done since the beginning of goddamn time. You understand, you adapt, and you adjust to the world around you. Like, and this has always been the world around you. So you understand and you adapt and you adjust to it. I don't see what the issue is with that shit. Like, people want some hypothetical, fictitious thing that they've never fucking lived to just all of a sudden be life, and that's not gonna happen. So just understand the world, you know. And I would agree with what May was saying up here earlier. Like, as far as the course of documented history and shit, you know the atrocities that have been committed and shit like that. For the most part, most of those shits have been done by Caucasian men.
Don't keep dropping me down.
I didn't drop you. You dropped on your.
I mean what I say, little bro. And you being mean.
What you say, you need to understand. I didn't drop your ass down. I dropped you down once earlier, and that was on the other stream. You came back, and I even put in the chat, Sherry, come back up, because you had an audio issue where you couldn't hear me. I have not dropped anybody down.
I'm not trying to punk you again.
Off. If your phone is on some fuck shit, that is not my problem. But I did not kick you off.
Okay, I can admit my phone on some messed up shit because I've been working on the highway. I'm trying to figure out how that man know I've been working on the highway.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is that I don't like when people come here. I love my daddy. I love my father. My father was a good father. He wasn't no dope fiend, no drug seller. None of that. He was none of that. And he took care of me and my brother. He was a father that would come home every day by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he didn't give a fuck who did the dishes or who did what. It wasn't genders. What's that word? I can't say it specific or whatever. He just knew it needed to be done. Now, my mama got off of work at about 6 or 7 at night. You motherfuckers will let these foreigners come in your life and make y'all feel less than what y'all are. And all of y'all are better than that. Stop letting these weirdo ass people tell you, dog it woman. This how you do. Motherfucker, you have been dogging your woman. If you go back to African men dogging their women, that was longer than slavery. And them bitches come over here and act like they better than somebody.
Yeah, we're having a tough time hearing Miss Sherry Berry right now. I don't know if she's having some StreamYard issues or anything like that. But I mean, look, for the most part, when you talking about even it, and they do want to keep perpetuating the narrative, all of the time. And this is a conversation. Shout out to B Dub Boogie. I know Miss Queen Sunkiss was also on the panel with myself, Big J, Choco Kitty. So they're going to try to perpetuate that narrative that black men as a whole, are just the biggest threat and shit like that, to women. And even Chrissy tried to debunk the whole proximity thing. But look, people that are within a proximity to you are naturally going to be a bigger threat than people that aren't in your proximity. But even if you want to look at the course of documented history, May the Alchemist did have a point, when she was up here. When you really want to look at it over the course of history, black men have usually been the most respectful and cohesive as far as working with their women as a unit over the course of history. So
yeah, man.
Working with and being able to coexist and all of that shit. So right now there's been a divide. I mean, look, if all of these numbers have gone up and all of that shit, as far as domestic violence and what they call femicide and everything else, I told you what I can attribute it to. The rise of bitch niggas. That's it. Motherfuckers that lack emotional regulation, hypersexual ass niggas that are suffering from fucking childhood trauma. At the end of the day, men that were not raised with the presence of other fucking men. That's what it is. And that's a lot more prevalent, in your society, in your community. So you get the same results as you would get in any society when it's just fucking. It's just like usually women are going to fucking fight with each other. Like that's just kind of what it is. If you have spaces, and God damn it, Sherry, man, figure this shit out. Figure your shit out. Figure your shit out. You keep on dropping and coming back. What's going on, Sherry? Well, I'm just saying, if you got a bunch of fucking women together, more often than not, they are going to fight. Like they're going to fucking fight. So now you got dudes acting like women. So that's why you see a lot more fighting. And for some reason, we're going to talk about this shit too. I got that topic coming up. Is the effeminization of men, not just black men, but is the effeminization of men a good thing for society, especially for women? Because I know a lot of people that watch my channel, they would probably be in agreement. They'd be like, no, absolutely
for
not.
that shit. I am OSHA certified.
Yeah, a lot of people that watch my channel, they would be like, no, absolutely not. But y'all would be amazed. A lot of these women that want to tone police you and tell you, you need to be a little bit more softer and you need to know how to talk to us and you just need to work on your emotional intelligence and shit. Basically, hey, they think it's better that your ass is effeminized. And then when they get with an effeminized nigga that will go back and forth with them just like he is one of the girls, then they want to point out that they're the least protected. You can't have it both ways. So just like Princella said, hey, do you want men or do you just want women in men's bodies? Because you got a lot of that shit going around. All right. I'm going to drop this link one more time. If not, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Sherry keep dropping herself down and coming back up and shit. But yeah, you got to decide that shit because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And if you think the best alternative is just to get with white dudes or whatever, chances are it's not just because white dudes are inherently fucking crazy. Even if there may be some truth to that shit. Like I say, if you're a shallow person, you're a horrible judge of character, then you're just going to end up with a fucking nut job. You're gonna fall for shit. Like that just is what it is. You're gonna fall for shit. And next thing you know, your life is gonna be at risk. She said, I need to go on TT and see what P is saying about this story. Like I say, they're all going to try to say the same thing. They're going to be like, hey, that woman thought white is right and shit like that. Other people are like, hey, they're saying that, black men are kind of celebrating this shit. No, you got some dudes that are celebrating this shit and they just happen to be black, on here. Oh, TikTok. And see what P, I guess that's what people are saying. Okay. But, yeah. That's it. So that's another problem. A lot of these dudes and these women, they confuse what they see on the internet as black men, or they confuse what they see on the internet as black women. And it's like, nah, you just got a bunch of people on the internet, and people on the internet like to spew narratives because, narrative spinning is, Princella. Well, Princella gonna have some fucked up shit to say about men in general. That's it. She gonna have some fucked up shit to say about men in general. I'm just like, look, the way I see it, this situation right here with this Ashlee Jenae chick, I'm just like, the most fucked up part about that shit is, oh boy, I believe he did it, and it looks like he tried to cover it up and make it look like a deletion. I'm sorry, a self-deletion. That's the crazy fucking part, man. Cause look, even when they want to bust down that, even if people want to try to make it seem like, oh, well, we don't know if it was a self-deletion. Look, it wasn't. The reason why I don't believe it was a self-deletion is because there's no fucking note. There's no note. There's no note. There's no phone post. There's no nothing. I'm just saying that there's no note. Who just does that? Now, hey, if they would have told me the most likely form of self-deletion these days, she's just gonna swallow a bottle of pills or some shit. Then maybe there's no note. She just went to sleep, never woke up. But that didn't happen. You telling me that somebody took the time to fucking tie a fucking noose, put that shit around their goddamn neck, and hang themselves from a fucking ceiling fan? Bullshit. And didn't even write a fucking note? They could be verified with their handwriting and all of that shit? You know what I'm saying? This woman was a social media influencer. She didn't post some shit. She posted everything else, but she didn't post that. No, that's not a self-deletion, man. Because look, a self-deletion, and like I say again, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, but self-deletion, we all know that's an extremely selfish act. It's an extremely selfish act. What up, Dark Lake? Salute. I'm gonna read that in just a second. But yeah, it's a very, very selfish act. So more often than not, somebody that would do that in the midst of a relationship gone wrong is going to want their ex or former significant other to feel some type of responsibility for that damn deletion. That's why there is going to be a fucking note. There is going to be a final post. There's going to be something, more often than not. But shout out to Dark Lake, you know what I'm saying, with the $5 ball super chat, man. Appreciate that. He said, "What's good, Auntie? Just saying hello, man." Also, so it's only niggas that don't leave self-deletion notes. Doesn't add up. He also recently lost his millions. That's what I'm saying. It really, it doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. And shout out to Dark Lake, you know, with the $5 holla. He was like, she wouldn't leave a note if she wasn't planning on dying. Exactly. Exactly. You know? Especially if it's over some relationship trauma or something like that. I mean, why would anybody totally forego their last their last opportunity for attention from that other person? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So that's just my take on it. So, but I don't think that's a white man thing. I don't think that's a black woman thing. I think that shit is just, I don't think it's even necessarily a divester thing. I think it's a poor judge of character thing. Along with the crazy motherfucker thing. That's it. And that comes in all races, all shapes, all sizes. All age demographics and shit like that. Look, me and Just My Five, we broke down a body camera review last month of a 93 or 94-year-old white man that went to fucking like he went to town on his then wife, who I think was probably about maybe 20 years younger than him or some shit like that. So she was in her 70s. That motherfucker just pulled the car over to the side of the roads, got so sick of hearing her fucking voice, he went and bought a knife that morning and cut her fucking throat, man. 93 years old. Yeah. Remember that, Five? Yeah. 93 fucking years old. That man lost it. Well, he ended up passing on in jail probably about 2-3 months later or some shit. All right, Sherry Berry, what you got?
What is a poor judge of character? When
poor judge of character is when you end up with somebody, you think somebody is something that they're not, when all of the signs point to shit otherwise. Like, a lot of people are just poor judges of fucking character, and usually people are poor judges of character because they misjudged the most important character, which they're all.
As a poor judge of character, I think
I'm gonna have to now. What a lot of people do is they they miss the first judgment of character, which is their own. People can't judge their own character. So because of that, they're easily duped by other people. So that's what I'm saying. You got a manipulative, crazy, nut job psychopath that will delete you when they don't get what they fucking want or they lose their fucking shit. But you can't see that because you're too busy concerned with the trinkets, the Chanel bags, and the trips that they taking you on, and the posts that you're able to put on fucking IG and TikTok. That's way more important than your goddamn life. That's why a lot of people are poor judges of character. That's why people get into marriages and relationships with motherfuckers who are just totally fucking wrong for them, or they get into relationships and marriages and shit when they ain't ready for that shit because they're poor judges of character. People are so focused on what the fuck they want that they don't even think about whether or not this is right for them or they're right for this. They don't even think that far. So at some point, I think we all need to just take accountability for being poor judges of character. I think, and we've all done that shit. Like that's human nature. Like, we've all misjudged, people before. Character. You think somebody's better than they are, and sometimes it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? You might think somebody's a bad person, and then you might find out, hey, they wasn't that bad at all. It happens. No, they were just misunderstood, whatever the case may be. That shit happens. But the trick is, just like Aries Queen said in the chat earlier, this shit comes from being outside, meeting people, getting to know people, going through this shit. This is how you learn how to spot symptoms, signs, and shit like that. But if all you do is sit in front of your fucking smart device, all day, every day, and you listen to what people on the internet are fucking saying and shit like that, then you're going to be a slave to an algorithm, and you're going to take this shit as gospel, unfortunately.
I've seen my sons do it. They'll wear each other clothes and shoes, put on each other's jewelry, and make a bitch think he all that. So who?
For real. And yeah, Sherry cutting out again. But whatchamacallit, Aries Queen. Yeah, slave to the algorithm. These people's algorithm has become reality. Like, it's become reality. Just like they say perception is reality. A lot of these people, their algorithm has become reality. They don't see anything other than what the feed on their out, what the feed on their phone tells them. And they think that is the real world. And it's not. It's just the world that you've created for yourself in your fucking brain. And unfortunately, it leaves people susceptible to narcissists, like real life narcissists, not just the way that a bunch of these people online say it, but real life narcissists. It leaves you susceptible to grifters, scammers, and predators. When you live in some delusional, deluded, distorted version of fucking reality. And these people don't want to admit it because they'll lose their shit. They'll lose their fucking shit. So they're going to keep on having these same conversations and spinning these same fucking narratives every goddamn day just to keep that world up. Because once it comes down, they're going to be forced to go out into the world and live life. So right now, I'm saying that dopamine rush is that's everything. And I feel for people when it comes to that shit. I really do. Yeah. Sherry Berry is on mute and I cannot unmute her. So that's what it is. Like I say, I'm going to drop this one more time and I'm going to get out of here in about 15 minutes because I've been up here all day and did not want to be. My first stream got a little preempted. I will definitely be back later because I do have some content that I do want to break down. I got to get back to these damn playoff games. Check these out. I done missed a good portion of these shits today because we had some stuff to break down. But yeah, if anybody wants to come up, give some thoughts, give some final thoughts, y'all are more than welcome to do so. Because this was a wild one. This was a wild one. Matter of fact, man. On that note, I guess we ain't even gonna give it 20 minutes, man. Shout out to L. Nixon. Something to think about, and Sherry Berry. As well as May the Alchemist. L. Nixon and Sherry Berry our official show sponsors, and shout out to Dark Lake too. May for now Sherry Berry, V Dub Boogie, May for coming up, adding to the conversation. I forget anybody, Definitely appreciate that. I got to get up out of here, man. I'm going to eat me some chicken, You know what I'm saying? Consume some alcohol. I'm going to do what actual fucking human beings and men do. You know what I'm saying? When the game's on a motherfucking Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We're going to enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? The weather's still nice. So on that note, man, definitely a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming through for part 1 and part 2. But definitely also make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. And make sure you guys hit the Cash App, support the show. Super chats available. And also make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. I'm going to drop the link for that. But definitely make sure you guys follow me on Twitch. We will be simulcasting most of these streams on Twitch. We're actually live on Twitch right now as well, but we're definitely trying to get that following up too. Yeah, hey, make sure you hit the notification bell, Dark Lake. This is going to be a cool conversation that we get into next time, because it's not just about divestment gone wrong or anything like that. Man, this is going to talk about how people decide, because a lot of people in these spaces, they try to talk about marriage as if that's the end game and goal. It's like, nah, that's the beginning. So I did this on Big Brenda Clark's show. We broke this down together, and I'm going to be breaking it down over here as well with a woman that literally ended her own marriage and says that she was with the perfect man. She ended it not because she wasn't ready for marriage, but just because the patriarchy was something that she couldn't get down with. And basically he didn't give her shit to complain about. So, she didn't like that very much. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And we're going to, review some other reactions to that as well. Yeah, dog. Yeah, it was definitely some wild shit. Definitely some wild shit. I'll actually give you guys a little prelude to it. Give me a second here. Yeah. So you guys can even feel free to check it out if you want to. Ahead of time, this is a woman by the name of Bree Speaks. And it's long, but we're gonna break down this entire video. Now, I've done it already. You can actually see the review on Big Brenda's channel, but this is just the way it starts. We're gonna listen to the
so bad that I have dated this wonderful human. I've loved him. He's loved me back, and we built this dream life together just for me to get everything I've ever wanted and then say, actually, I don't want this.
You hear that? Wonderful human. We built this dream life together, and then I just decided that I don't want this. And shout out to Just My Five with the big old set of cheers, man. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Just My Five.
Donations, 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 gifts, 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 more gifts, more gifts.
Shout out to Just My 5 cents. So yeah, this is going to be a wild one. Right there. I'm going to try to be back up here a little later on tonight when the game's finish. So definitely make sure you guys hit the notification bell. I'll probably be going live a little bit later. And because I've already announced what I'll be doing, chances are somebody else will just break down this video on their channel anyway. But that's fine. Their breakdown ain't going to be like mine. So make sure y'all catch it over here. And we'll open up the panel for it too. Shout out to y'all. I'm about to get up out of here, man. It was definitely a pleasure. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. And again, shout out to everybody that sponsored the show. L. Nixon, you know what I'm saying? Sherry Berry, Dark Lake, May the Alchemist, Everybody to hit the Cash App as well. And shout out to Just My 5 Cents with them cheers over there, man. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm out of here, man. Hold up. Peace.